There's our whopper, buddy. There's our whopper right there. We got him. Hey, y'all, good morning. It's a little before sunrise. It's just starting to get light over there over the horizon. I dropped the kayak off here, and me and you, we're going to take off and go fishing. Basically right here where we're launching. We're going to start drifting right out here in the main river channel and work our way down toward this river bend that you can maybe see down there in the distance on the left, and hopefully bust some big fish today. My last few trips out, I've been getting some whoppers, and we're going to try to do it today too. So I'm going to put y'all here in the chest while we get in the kayak here, and we're going to take off and go. I'm going to leave the camera rolling today non-stop. I'm going to bring you on a real fishing trip here. So let's get it going. Let's turn our graph on here so we can follow the contours. We're going to work the channel edge coming down through here with some shad. I've got some gizzard shad that I went out, loaded up on yesterday just to get us some fresh bait. And we're going to take those on 2 rods, both light tackle rods at that. And me and you, we're going to go on a real fishing trip today, folks. Let's grab you one out of there. We got options. We got a whole bag full of gizzards right there, plenty enough for today. We can keep our baits good and fresh, not have to reuse stuff unless it's just a situation where we drop a bait down and it gets eat real quick. But we can keep everything good and juicy on there, if you know what I mean. All right, we're gonna let our graph load right here, and I'm gonna run us out just a little bit. So where we want to be, you can see we're 10 feet deep now. I want to bring us out just off that drop over here. So we'll pedal out. We should have a smidge of flow, just a smidge. I fished yesterday, the current was moving about 0.3-ish. So right now you can see we're coming, well, there's a fish right there too, right off that drop. But I'm gonna get us out. It should be 20 feet. Okay, so right here, you see, it was coming down and now it's kind of leveling out a little bit. Now it's a more gradual decline. We want to be somewhere in here, right in that area on the edge, and we want to follow it all the way down through here. We just want to follow that contour. So I'm going to spin us back. That way we can, boy, we're seeing all kinds of stuff right here in front of where we launched. Okay, no more time to waste, y'all. We're gonna get these baits on. Me and you will sit back, reel in some fish today, and watch us the sunrise when it comes up. I think we got probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes maybe before the sun's officially up. We're getting an early start today. It's gonna be hot as blazes. So we're gonna be catching our fish early and getting off the water early. So I'll try to show you the gear best we can. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it at this hour with the lighting how it is. I think I hear another boat coming here at the boat ramp. We're going to move on if that's the case. Yeah, they are. They're coming. Another vehicle here. Let's get turned around, that way they can, because we're literally putting in right here at the, actually, I don't know, that may just be somebody here to steal the catalytic converter off my vehicle. Anyway, here's what we're gonna do. We got our shad head on a 3/0 size new hook here from Catfish Sumo. 15-pound fluoro leader, swivel, 2-ounce egg sinker, 15-pound braid for the main line. Daiwa BG 4000 size reel on a Catfish Sumo light tackle catfish rod. And my bait's already on bottom right there because we're 18 feet right here. So we're gonna have, oh, what the hell that guy's doing over yonder. He's just out driving around at 6 o'clock in the morning, I reckon. Probably coming down here to see who he can rob, whose vehicle's sitting here with nobody around it he can steal everything out of. That's how they are at these kind of backwoods places, man. They'll rob you blind, buddy. So this rig here, everything's the same, just a different cut of bait. That's the gizzard shad body section. We're gonna roll with heads and chunks. I've had days lately where it seems like my better fish come on the chunks, and then another day where the better fish seem to come on the heads. So we're just going to offer them options, at least best we can anyway. And we'll just kind of sit here a second and see if we're moving. Should be a little bit of flow, like I mentioned, but I don't know how fast we're going to move. And the wind this morning is going to pick up as well. Right now it's pretty calm. There's a light breeze. I feel it on my face. But as the morning goes on, is another reason to get out here early. In addition to the heat, it's going to really ramp up. So we want to try to take advantage now while it's relatively calm, because this particular kayak, I'm in my Hobie Lynx, it really gets blown around very easily because of the hull design. So I like calmer days, preferably. But I can see on the shoreline, we are moving downstream, and it looks like we're moving at about 0.4 right now. So perfect, absolutely perfect drifting speed. So me and you, we're going for a drift, y'all. We're going to just take a section of this, fish for 3-4 hours today. So at 0.4, you know, you can do the math, a little over a mile and a half range in there. If we get on some fish, maybe double up or something like that, or hook a big fish, when we're done with it, I'll pedal us back up. We'll drift through it again in case it's got some friends or whatever. And yeah, folks, we'll just kind of keep an eye out on the graph here as we drift along, and we'll sit out here, tell some stories, solve the world's problems as me and you, we watch the sun come up over here. So I'm gonna put y'all in the chest. Like I said, we're gonna leave the camera rolling today. We're just gonna have us a real fishing trip together, and you'll see it all from right now when I literally hop in the kayak to when we acknowledge that crow over there that's wanting on video. And then as we catch some fish. I have been on a hell of a run lately. You know what I think it is too? Let me grab it. I've left our lucky nickel in here. For regular viewers, I told a story on a recent video. It's filmed last week, but might be 2 weeks since you've seen it potentially with my publishing schedule and whatnot. But I found a nickel where I had launched at. And I'm all about some free money, so I took this nickel with me. Well, I left it in the kayak. And since that trip, I had a really good day that day, caught some big fish. And since then, boy, that was a big splash. Let's see. I'm trying to do my days here in my head. That was Friday. I catfished Sunday, catfished yesterday, Monday. And then today, so I've had 3 good trips in a row since I found our lucky nickel. So I'm going to put it back up here in that little tie down spot. That's going to be our good luck charm today. Y'all get your own lucky nickel. You ain't taking mine now. That thing's been good as gold, buddy. I'm all about some good luck, and I'm all about some free money. And when people's throwing pocket change out at the dang boat launches, I'm going to pick it up. I ain't above it. I ain't above stooping down and picking me up a penny or quarter, nickel, whatever it is. I always got my head down. When I'm walking through a parking lot, just to go to a grocery store, go to Walmart, whatever, I got my head down on that ground, because you find stuff on the ground all the time. And if my eyes are down toward the parking lot, then I don't make eye contact with any human beings, which would then open up awkward conversations. So I can avoid it all just by simply looking for money on the ground. But y'all don't care about that, because we out here looking for fish today, and I'm hoping we get on some more quality fish. I've been talking about, really, I feel like for the last 2 or 3 weeks that we're kind of up against the spawn, and we are. It's the time of year. Our fish usually go on the nest here late May, early June. It varies a little bit year by year depending on weather conditions, water temperatures, moon phases, etc., etc. And I keep thinking I'm gonna hit the water one day and just not catch anything, or just only catch small fish. But I'm still busting big ones, and I'm getting fish that are fat too, like seem like they're still full of eggs. The one I caught yesterday was a beast. It wasn't a very long fight, but I mean, it was a beast. And I actually caught it, well, just downriver from here. So I'll tell you what happened. So I fished yesterday, And I went across the channel. There's a creek over here, and I anchored in front of it. And I sat there about an hour and a half or so, maybe a little longer. And I hadn't done any good. I had like 2 dink taps, nothing. I was like, oh crap, you know, it's the spawn started. That's the thing, when you not catch a fish, you always want to blame something, right? Well, it must be the spawn. They're on the nest now. So I pulled anchor, and I was like, you know, before I leave, there's another carp. That was a carp right there, splashed. I was like, I'm gonna come on this side, and there's nothing really over here as far as like creeks or anything feeding in, but like, I thought I'm gonna work this because it's kind of the outside, the top edge of an outside bend. And I said, I'm gonna just drift a little while. I didn't have baits in the water just a few minutes after I started drifting. Boom, hooked that big fish. It was a short fight, but still, it was a monster fish. I go a little farther, boom, another fish. So I ended up getting a few fish drifting, but I kind of wasted half the trip just sitting on anchor spot that wasn't producing. So I was like, well, was I just in the wrong place, or did they want a moving bait yesterday? And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes they want it sitting still, sometimes they want it moving. And if you're doing the opposite of what they want, you just won't catch anything. That's just how it works sometimes. So I thought, today I'm gonna come back, I wanna drift the same area, but I wanna drift it at first light right here, because I'm from now first light up to past sunrise, I was sitting over there not catching anything. So if there was a morning bite going on, I missed part of it. So this is why we're back here again today, and we're gonna drift a little bit, and we've fallen off. We're 21 feet, so I'm gonna drop our baits down just a little bit. When you're suspend drifting like this, you want to raise and lower your baits as the depth changes, so that they're always just off the bottom. That's why if you're gonna do this technique, it's best to do it in an area that's pretty consistent in depth. That way you're not constantly just on the rods raising and lowering. It can be a real nuisance. If you're in an area that's got a lot of undulating features, it can be a real pain to do this technique, because you're either going to be, the bottom's going to come up on you and you're going to be dragging bottom, getting snagged, or it's going to drop off, and then now you're going to have your baits 10 foot off the bottom, way out of strike zone. So it's best to do this in areas that's pretty consistent in depth, and this area is. It's a shallower section of river, which is where I've done good all the way spring up to now. I guess we'd call this early summer. I mean, it's certainly going to feel like it today when it's about 90 degrees here in a few hours. But I've just been doing really good in the shallower areas, whether it's shallower sections of river or just in front of like shallower creeks. That's where I've been having my best success all spring long up until now. So I've just kind of been riding it till it dies, and the bite just hasn't died yet. I expect it to anytime, but as long as I'm still busting big fish, we're gonna keep getting after them. So I had a little bait left over yesterday, but it would have been 3 days old today. I said, you know what, hell with that. I'm gonna go yesterday afternoon, I'm gonna get back out, go get us some more fresh shad. And I've got an area right now that it's like my own private shad sanctuary, if you will. And so I mentioned, okay, so here's a story for you right off the bat. So I mentioned the last long video I done, which was filmed on Friday, what, 3 or 4 days ago. That was filmed on Friday. I'm filming this on Tuesday. I had mentioned that I found this area that was kind of sealed off. The way our water level is down, and you can maybe see right now, it's still very low light out here, but you've got the water and then the bank, and then you see where the trees are up there, right? Well, normally when our water's at normal levels, it will be all the way up under those overhanging trees. Well, you can see we're still down a few feet because we ain't had enough rain for them to raise all our water level up. And so there's an area that I found that because of our water level, you can't really get to it. You've got the main river channel and a flat, and then you go under this bridge that goes back to a creek. And when you go under the bridge, it kind of opens up back there. But the area under the bridge is very narrow and it's only a few inches deep. And then on the back side of that bridge, there's a beaver dam. Beavers have stacked up all this wood. So no boat can get in there because of the depth and how narrow it is in that beaver dam. Like a boat can't pass. If the water level was up a few feet, they could. But right now, it's impossible. You can only get back there by kayak. So when I found that spot, I was like, well, I'm just going to get out of the kayak and drag my kayak up and over and get back there. And I start throwing the cast net, and I'm getting all these gizzard shad. They're trapped back there. It's like it's this huge area in this creek. It just opens up and it basically makes a pond because water, they can't get out by the bridge because of the beaver dam, and the back of the creek is dry. So it's kind of just created this big pond that's like 4 to 6 feet deep, and it's just loaded with fish. So that first day I was out there, I'm throwing the cast net, I'm getting some shad, but as I'm throwing the net, I'm also getting other things. Crappie, largemouth bass, yellow bass, bluegill, like there's just a bunch of life back there. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to film an ultralight video. And I'm going to do it on a weekend. That way, when there's pleasure boaters and bass boaters everywhere out on the main river, I'll have my own little private place to fish and film at. So, next day, after I'd filmed that video telling you all about this, was Saturday, right? And there was a catfish tournament going on down on Nickajack. And I'd been on the fence about whether or not I was going to fish it. And I ended up deciding not to fish it. I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of people go to it, and I checked the registration thing there at like 4 o'clock on Friday, and you had to sign up by 6. And I was going to have to be in Chattanooga to do the board check and the pre-tournament check-in meeting there at 6 p.m. So I was going to have to leave my house about 4:15 at the latest to make it down there. Well, I checked the registration thing at 4 p.m. and there was only 2 people signed up at that point. I was like, hell, I don't want to drive all the way down to Chattanooga to fish a tournament that ain't got nobody there. Now, there ended up being 6 people sign up total, and then the tournament director jumped in, so they had 7, but it was a terrible turnout. And the guy that won, he was from Ohio. I don't think, by the time he figured gas, hotel, entry fee, fishing license, all that, hell, he probably still lost money even though he won. But nevertheless, I decided not to fish. So I was like, well, if I'm not going to Chattanooga on Saturday, and I was going to save that pond-like area for a weekend day, I was like, well, hell, let's just go out there and do that on Saturday. So here I go, man. I'm out there. I got me a tub of worms. I got my ultralight rod. I'm ready to go. Well, I start fishing, and I'm leaving the camera rolling. I'm doing one of those unedited videos like we're doing today, just showing you everything, right? From the time I'm hiking through the bridge there, pulling the kayak up over the beaver dam, hopping in and fishing. Well, I'm making my way along. I'm casting. I ain't catching nothing. Finally, after an hour of fishing with an ultralight rod and worms, I mean, it's about the simplest technique. I mean, you catch a ton of fish doing that. After an hour, I had 3 fish, 2 bluegill that were, I don't know, 4 inches at the most, and a little tiny yellow bass. That's all I had caught. Oh, we're about to catch something right here. Let's watch it go down. He's got it. My line's starting to swim. That's a slow takedown right there. Slow takedown. He don't know he's hooked. Well, because he ain't hooked right now. Let's make sure he didn't get our bait. No, it's still on there. Let's send it back down. I don't think he fully committed to that. I don't think he knew he was on a bait with a hook in it. It's nice though, we're a few minutes in. We've seen some fish on the screen. We've already got a bite. That's encouraging. Oh, he's back on it. Okay, he's got it now, by gosh. Round 2. Yep. Busting us one right here before the sun comes up. All right, he ain't gonna be, yeah, this one here is a dink. He ain't gonna be the monster we're after. I'm gonna give him his moment of fame nonetheless. He's number 1, folks. He's the number 1 draft pick here. Get up here, fish. Let's show you off. Let's see where you hooked at. I gotta tell you some more about these hooks too. These are new hooks I've been running this weekend, or well, since Friday, and these are the same hooks I've been running. I've been using the same ones, try to put them through the paces. And this one here, buddy, is hooked in an awkward way. The hook is sideways and going, there you go. Boy, it's behind the dang jawbone too. That's a tough area to get them unhooked with these light wire hooks. That's when you're gonna bend them. There you go. All right, fish, get your moment of fame there. Get your moment of fame and tell your friends we're looking for them today. We'll see you next time, buddy. Let's take a look at our hook. Make sure I didn't bend it there with the pliers. Oh, hook point's still sharp. Everything looks good. All right, let's get our net out the way. Grab us another shad. Okay. 1 shad head down, 1 fish in the kayak. More to come, folks. If you're seeing this video, it means we got some more. I ain't posting a video, especially a long one, with only 1 small fish like that, so something improved on our day. If you're seeing this, spoiler alert. We're gonna have a good day today regardless. I am anyway. We're out here on the water at sunrise on what's gonna be a beautiful morning right here. I'm gonna turn this around just a second here so y'all can watch the sun come up. If y'all are awake to see it. Some of y'all sleep through the sunrise every daggone day. You don't know what you're missing. So anyhow, I go out and I film for an hour. I'm fishing back there for an hour. I ain't caught diddly poo, man. Just 2 little bluegill and yellow bass. So I scrapped the video. I said, this ain't gonna work out. But I mean, I'd caught all them fishing things, casting at crappie, bass. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff back there. I just wasn't catching them, even with ultralight and worms. It was weird. So I net some shad to get some more catfish bait, and then I come out of that creek, and on the other side of the bridge, like facing the main river channel, where it's a little bit deeper, there was some bluegill beds. Well, I thought was bluegill beds. Ended up being shellcracker beds, and I sit there and done a channel members video for my channel members catching those fish. But so I ended up having a good morning out there in the end, but boy, that area let me down as far as being a place to have my own. I thought I was just going to have my own little fishing sanctuary back there, would catch a bunch of fish, a bunch of variety of species, and boy, it just wasn't happening. So I go back there yesterday to get some more shad, easily catch shad, but you know what else I'm catching in the cast net yesterday? Crappie, bass, all those things that I thought I was going to catch on the trip on Saturday. But I just didn't do any good. That's one of the few times I've ever went ultralight fishing, whether it be with worms or gulp minnows or whatever. But that's one of the few times I've ever went out with the intention of doing an ultralight session and just not done worth a crap. Now, I ended up doing okay in the end because I got on them shellcracker, but I didn't want to, honestly, I didn't want to put that on a regular video because I thought, well, if these videos get a few thousand views and if 20 people figures out where I'm fishing at, they'll just clean them beds out. There won't be nothing left. And so I was like, well, I probably need to protect this spot. I'll show it to my channel members because, you know, they seem, all the channel members I have that I've interacted with seem to be a little bit more conscientious as far as like, you know, conservation and stuff like that. I did keep one of the shell crackers that I caught, and it was a big one too, but I'd hooked him kind of deep. So I kept him for bait, which I fished Sunday, and I got that shell cracker eaten, and along with some shad eaten, and got some big fish. And then so I've done shorter edited videos the last 2 days, which you will, if you're a regular viewer, you will have seen prior to this video coming out. But I've been on a good run, man. I've just been catching some big fish. It's not been days where you're catching 20 fish, 30 fish. Like, I'm not tearing it up as far as numbers goes. Like, even out here today, I mean, if you're tuning in to see a lights out action-packed video, you're going to be disappointed. That ain't going to be the type of trip we're going to have today. At least I don't think. It could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think today we're probably going to get 5 or 6 fish with some big fish mixed in. If today goes like my recent trips, that's how it's going to be. So, and here's the other thing too, is I got to get my handkerchief out here. Bear with me a second here, folks. I ain't going to blow my nose into the microphone, but I do need to get all the snot dripping out my face here. I know, just what y'all wanted to hear, right? So attractive. Goodness gracious. I don't even know what I was about to say now. It's funny how snot running out a nostril down to your upper lip could make you break your train of thought. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. But anyway, I know I was going on something about just the number of fish prior to that. But I ain't, man, the last few trips, I mean, last several trips really, I don't think I've gotten but maybe 5 or 6 fish total at the most. But there's just been it's been quality over quantity. And another thing that's been a little different really this past few days here is my bites have come later in the morning. So oftentimes you get this time of year, there'll be kind of a flurry of activity now, right here, right before sunrise to just after sunrise, and you'll have just this window that you can hammer some fish while they're actively feeding. Well, it seems like, well, you take yesterday, for instance. I sat over at that creek for over an hour and a half. Nothing. By the time I reel up, pull up the anchor, come to this side of the channel, start drifting, I mean, we're well past sunrise at that point. And that's when I started getting bit. The day before, got on the water at first light. Most of my fish came 2 hours or so into the trip. So it seems to be a little bit later in the morning bite right now. But I would prefer, if possible, to be on the water at first light, because I like watching that sunrise, although the trees over there is kind of blocking the best part of it for us right now with the angle we're at. But it's still a hell of a sight, just watching it come up, feeling that sun on your skin first thing in the morning. I think it's good for the soul. It's good for the body. It's good for the soul. Rejuvenates you. It's a sense of accomplishment in a weird sadistic way too. It's like we made it through the night. We survived another one. It's time for another day with endless possibilities. Man, today could be the day you change your life. Today could be the day you turn it all around. Whatever's going on in your life, whatever bad things you got going on, any problems, today could be the day that you turn the corner. Or, if you want to get a little bit morbid, today could be your last good day. So you better take advantage, that's what I'm getting at, folks. When the sun comes up, you better hit the ground running. And some of y'all done slept in today and missed it. You're missing the whole thing. Those of you that got up with me, though, we're taking advantage, and we're going to we're going to have us a day, man. We'll catch us some fish, sit out here and bake in the sun once it starts melting our flesh off here, because it's going to be so hot today. And then we'll go home to the air condition, maybe play a little Mario Kart this afternoon. I might get an afternoon nap today too. I don't know. I've been kind of running on empty. I feel like the last few days I've been getting up early, and I've had to stay up kind of late the last couple nights. My wife on Sunday, she went to Nashville with a couple of her friends. Just a little girls trip, going for the day type thing. I went down there and done some shopping. My wife apparently found a Lego store down there, so she got her a Beauty and the Beast castle. I don't know. My wife, she was of that age where when she was growing up, while I was playing with G.I. Joes and Ninja Turtles and wrestling figures, my wife, she was into Disney princesses and stuff like that. And so she got her a Beauty and the Beast Lego castle on sale, apparently, at the Lego store. And her friends done some shopping down there, so they get home kind of late, and my wife had warned them before they come in I'd probably say something inappropriate. She warned them in advance not to be offended. But I told them when they come in, I was like, I've been telling her forever she needs to bring home another woman, and here she has brought home 2 women to me. I thought it was funny. Her friends thought it was funny. My wife wasn't as amused as we were. But I told them, I said, I'm gonna need y'all to come back about once a week, because the day before they were, so how it happened, both her friends had to drive past my house to basically, to go to Nashville from where they live. So they just come to my house, left their cars there, then they all rode down with my wife. And so the day before, in anticipation of her friends coming over, well, let's pause the story a second so you can see that sun as it's popped up over the trees there. Soak that in for a second there, folks. Is that beautiful or what? If them trees right there in front of it, if we hadn't been blocked by those, it would have been a lot prettier because we would have seen it at a lower angle. But that's still a hell of a sight, man. It's going to be a beautiful day, y'all. So anyhow, back to the story. They left their cars there, rode with my wife. Well, the day before, in anticipation of them coming over to the house, my wife, she is cleaning everything. I mean, the house got a deep clean. She's vacuuming, she's mopping, she's dusting, she's picking up clutter. It's her clutter, not mine, but she's picking up everything. The house looks immaculate. And I was instructed that I had to mow the yard too, get the grass cut, which I was going to do the weekend anyway, but I had to do it on Saturday because her friends were coming Sunday. So the place is immaculate. And I told her friends, I was like, I'm going to need y'all to come back about once a week so I could get this house cleaned and keep this place in tip-top shape. I said, she ain't going to do it on her own. I'm going to need y'all to stop by. Oh, is that a fish? Yeah. Oh, y'all missed another one. That was another kind of slow tug right there. Let me just make sure our bait's, yeah, it's still looking good. Back down it goes. We about had us another one. Y'all botched it. I hope you're embarrassed. You done missed the fish there on video and made a fool of yourself. Probably 11 people still watching at this point in the video, and you done embarrassed yourself by losing that fish. I'm gonna get us, we've seen this, take one last look at the sun here, folks. I'm about to get us spun around. Right now we're moving at like 0.2, 0.3. I think I'm gonna face us downstream and just move us a little quicker. I think when the wind, when I first seen it, it was like 0.4, 0.5. I think the wind had us moving a little bit too. And now it's flat calm, like there's no breeze or anything at this moment. And we're just barely moving. So I wanna just kinda, I want to be able to cover a little bit of water today. You know, we're not going to cover a great deal, but I want to move a little bit, try to run into some fish. And there is some stuff down there. I mean, like, and you can see right there on the screen, like, right there, right off the bottom. I need to get us a little closer over here to the edge. But, yeah, we're going to try to run into a few of those. I'll either pedal or I've got my little electric motor here we can supplement the speed with if need be. But anyway, the wife, she got home kind of late. And then last night we were up kind of late. And I ain't as spry as I used to be, folks. Like now, it takes me, if I don't get a full night's beauty rest, I'm a little lethargic in the mornings. And it takes me a little longer to recuperate. Used to, man, I could go without sleep and be fine. Man, I could function. But now, the older I get, the harder it is for me to function. So I'm starting to kind of feel it here, going to bed late and then getting up at 4:30 to be able to be out here on the water before first light, because the sun's coming up earlier and earlier every day. Like it's an earlier and earlier sunrise right now, so you gotta drive. I mean, you gotta get up, get out of bed, drive down here, get on the water before it comes. Like it's some early mornings for me. So I'm starting to feel it. May get me a little afternoon siesta today, get me a little nap in, a little power nap. Me and Daphne the dog, maybe. We got to do some filming with her. The reason I wanted to do an edited video on Sunday when I went catfishing was, well, one, I knew there'd be a bunch of boat traffic, and doing an unedited video, I was going to be around people probably at some point, and it would mess up my commentary on this. So I was like, well, the perfect day to do an edited video. And we got to do a bicycle. Of course, you've done seen it by now. If you're seeing this video, you've done seen that video come out. But she got a new electric bike we got to do some filming with. It's a tricycle or trike. Trike. I keep wanting to call them tricycle, but when I was a kid, if a bicycle had 3 wheels, it was a tricycle. But now they're called trikes. I guess that's what you call them when you're an adult. It's probably childish to say tricycle. But anyhow, she got that bike, and so I've got to, even though that video has done come out by the time you're seeing this one, I have not filmed that segment yet. So we got to go back to the future, Marty, and get that done to stick on that video. So I may, we'll see how it goes out here today, see how many fish we're catching, and see if I'm going to do that tomorrow or if I'm going to get back on the water and film tomorrow. We've got some stuff. Well, we got a little peck. It's one of them on the screen right there too. We're going through some stuff right here. Looks like some smaller marks there on the bottom. But we've got some storms the next couple days. Today's going to be fine. But tomorrow and the next day is supposed to have, it's not going to be an all-day washout or anything, but just kind of pop-up storms type deal and some windier conditions. So it would be a good time to take a break if that's actually turns out to be, if the weather forecast is accurate, is what I'm trying to say. Can't get my words going. It's part of being tired, folks. I can't get my words to function, to come out my mouth like they're supposed to be in my head, to articulate complete sentences. Y'all ain't getting the best of me today. I'm about 75% today. But we're gonna roll with it. For those of you that are coming fishing with me, my fishing buddies here, we're gonna make the most of it. I'm mostly just trying to ride this bite out before the spawn hits. Because I mean, we go through this every year. you'd be catching big fish and just wearing them out, and then one day it stops, and you're like, well, is it just a bad trip, or is the bite kind of over? And then over the next 2 or 3 trips, you realize, well, the bite's just over. It just shuts off one day because these big fish that we've been catching, they end up going on the nest. So you got to take advantage of it, man. When it's easy when it's like March, and you know you've still got a couple months of potentially catching big fish. It's easy to take it for granted. But when you get to this point in the year and you know that spawn's going to happen anytime, you start wanting to make every trip count a little more. And so that's where we're at now. Now, we'll still catch a bunch of fish once the spawn starts. We'll still catch our small fish like the one we got there earlier. Like, there'll be plenty of those because of the water temperatures and higher metabolism this time of year, that type of thing. Like, we'll still get a bunch of those, and we will still, throughout the summer, we will still bust some big fish occasionally. But the likelihood of getting on trips where you're catching multiple big fish, like some of the days that we've had recently, that's going to dry up. And I like having days like that. I like having days where I catch a bunch of fish too, don't get me wrong. I do. I like days of quantity, but days of quality, man, those are the ones. You can have days where you catch a bunch of fish just one after another, and those are fun, memorable trips. But your big fish, when you get those, like, let's be real, like, those are the ones when you're scrolling back through your phone and looking through your photos, it's those big fish that cause you to stop and look and think about that particular day or trip, right? So that's what I mean, if you give me the option, if I could choose my destiny out here today, and you could say, Justin, pick one or two. You can come out here and catch 30 fish this morning, but they're all going to be 2 pounds or less. Or you can come out and maybe catch 3 fish, but 2 of them are going to be whoppers. Most days, I'm going to pick the 2 whoppers and 1 dink type deal. Most days. Now, there might be some days where I'm just in the mood to catch a bunch of fish. But usually, like, if I want to catch a bunch of fish, that's when I bust out the ultralight rod. Now, it didn't work out Saturday with that secret honey hole. And it still is a secret honey hole for shad. There's a bunch of gizzard shad just trapped back there, and they are easy pickings. But it wasn't the honey hole I was hoping for the other fish species. But usually, I mean, if you just go beat the banks out in the main river or your lake or creek or whatever, like, you're going to catch a bunch of fish doing that. And I've had a bunch of, I've got videos on this channel, some of my unedited ultralight trips that are 3-4 hours long, where I've caught over 100 fish. Various species, a lot of bluegill in there certainly, but still, I mean, it's a lot of action, a lot of tugs on the line in a short period of time. So that's what I typically do. If I'm in the mood to catch a bunch of fish, then that's what I'll do, versus trying to go catfishing and just catch a bunch. There are certain areas where there seem to be a higher population of small catfish. So those days where I do just want to go catch a bunch of catfish, I can go hit those areas and try to take advantage of, and I don't know why it is that there's just certain places that seem to hold more small catfish. Like, I don't know why those areas versus others that don't. Like, well, I mean, like these shallower sections of, left rod. Something bumped it. He's back after it again. Tell him don't be messing with that bait if he ain't going to commit. We want to leave that thing in good condition down there, fish. Because one of your friends will commit to it. And that's the one we want, not you. But, you know, the last 2 or 3 months where I've really kind of spent most of my time on the... Well, did you see that? That was insulting right there. I guess it was a carp coming up and splashed right beside us, taunting us. How rude. The last 2 or 3 months where I've kind of focused on the shallower sections of the river for the most part, I've not really caught all that many dinks. I mean, most of my trips, the last, well, really 2 or 3 months, it's not been a lot of action. It's just been good quality. So I don't know. I ran into a trot liner, a commercial fisherman, and I guess it's been, hell, I don't know, probably 2 months ago now. Been a few weeks for sure. But I was drifting that day, and I got tied up in his damn trot line. And I started pulling up on it, and it had some big fish on there. All that's on my video. Anyway, I get my line undone. We go back drifting along. Check out all this first, though. Look at all that. Got a bunch of fish down there just taunting us. Anyway, we're back on the drift. We're moving along, and the trot liner comes up through there. And he stops, talks to me, and he knows who I am from YouTube. I think it was his kid in the boat with him. But anyway, he watched me and stuff, and we chatted a little bit, and it was an okay conversation. I mean, I don't dislike the guy. I hate trot liners. I hate the practice of it, because it's 2026 and you don't need to be running lines across the whole damn river with hundreds and hundreds of hooks on them for everybody else to get snagged up in. Like, my argument's always been, like, me coming out and doing what I do doesn't negatively impact a trot liner, but them coming out and doing what they do negatively impacts me and every other recreational fisherman, because we drift through it and get all of our hooks and lines and everything snagged up. It's incredibly frustrating. So that particular day, I had been doing really well. And I remember that particular day, I think I got like 2 or 3 fish. Like, it was a limited action kind of day. But then you realize, well, hell, this guy's out here running trot lines from one side of the river all the way to the other with hundreds of hooks. Like, I mean, how do you compete with that? When you've got baits strung out everywhere, well, how do you get your bait noticed? And anyway, so this trot liner, he was apparently after small fish. A lot of these people, these commercial fishermen, and it's been, I mean, there's people online griping and arguing back and forth all the time with each other about these commercial fishermen. They'll pull our big fish out and take them and sell them to the pay lakes and stuff. And you know, regardless of what side you're on with the pay lake issue, from a legal standpoint, here where I'm fishing at today, you can only keep 1 blue cat or flathead per person that's over, I think it's 34 inches or 36 inches. So you take the trot liner guy, it was him and another boy in there with him, I think it was his son. So in theory, they could keep 2 fish that were over that length to do whatever they want with, really. I mean, it's their fish. But supposedly they were just after the small fish that they were going to sell to market, because there ain't no limit on those. And the guy commented on a Facebook post of mine a few days later. And he said, you know, he's talking about meeting me out there or whatever. And And he was happy I didn't cut his lines. Apparently a lot of people, they get snagged up in people's trot lines, they'll just cut them. And I see both sides of that. On one hand, the commercial fisherman, like, that's his livelihood. And if a person cuts his lines, that's damaging to his business. It not only costs him the fish that are on the trot lines, it's going to cost him money, but it's going to cost him money to replace his gear, and it's illegal. Like, what he's doing, that practice of trot lining, like, I don't like it. You know, on a personal level, I don't like it. I wish it was banned, but my personal feelings don't mean jack diddly poo. Like, what he's doing is legal. He's following the law. He has every right to do it. Whether I agree with the practice of it or not, it's irrelevant. Like, it's within his rights to do it. And if a person cuts his lines, they're breaking the law. They're damaging his property. Like, he is in the right in that situation. On the flip side of that, though, I can see people, why they would want to cut this guy's lines. If they're drifting along and snag up every fishing pole they have because this guy felt compelled to run a trot line from one side of the river all the way to the other with 1,000,000 hooks on it, and you drift through, and a lot of these guys in boats, I mean, hell, they'll run 8 or 10 rods, and you get every single line. That's a lot of tackle they're going to lose. Not to mention the frustration and mess up their trip. So I can see them being angry and be like, you know what, screw this guy. If you're going to damage my gear, I'm going to damage yours. So I get it. I see both sides of it. But anyway, this guy was thankful that I didn't cut his lines. And he mentioned there when he commented on my Facebook post, he said, you were in the right spot. He said he had 27 big fish on his lines when he checked them that morning. And I hit the little like button and went on, but I wanted my initial asshole in my head. I wanted to comment back and be like, well, that's why I had a crap day and couldn't catch any, because how can I catch fish that are all attached to your trot lines? When you got that many big fish in that small area that I was out there fishing that day, all attached to a trot line, well, of course I'm not going to catch them. You know, and then how many of those fish, what's the mortality rate on that? Even if he's letting them go, but they've struggled and pulled on that damn trot line for who knows how long. Like, I don't know how long he had them things set out. Like, what's the delayed mortality on those? I don't know. I mean, who knows? It's probably not zero. But, you know, it's just, it's one of them things. But here's the flip side of all that. While I can't stand getting my lines wrapped up in a trot line, having to cut and break off and all that, and I hate having a day like that, I mean, who knows? Maybe that particular day, maybe those fish were feeding at night. Maybe I wouldn't have done worth a crap out there anyway that day. Who knows? There's no way of knowing. Now, I'm going to blame, you know, fisherman always needs a good excuse. I'm going to blame the trot liner and the fact there was 27 big fish on his line. I'm going to blame that as the reason why I couldn't catch nothing that particular day, or not catch more than what I got. But I don't know. But if he really is just taking the small fish, and I'm sure he's got several other people or commercial fishing out here taking the small fish, that may explain why this year I ain't caught very many small fish. It's mostly been big ones. So, I mean, there's something to a healthy ecosystem where you can't, if you get too many small fish, everything kind of gets stunted. And that's more, I think that's more prevalent when it comes to like smaller bodies of water, or I guess it's more noticeable when you've got smaller bodies of water and fish like bluegill or crappie. Like they'll just keep breeding and breeding and breeding. And if you don't have a predator fish in there to keep the small fish in check, well, they'll just get big enough to breed, and then you end up with a bunch of stunted fish. And it can happen in a big body of water too. So, I mean, there's a balance. And the problem, the big problem though, as far as regulations go and managing the rivers and whatnot for adequate numbers of fish and adequate size of fish, is that everything's reactionary with the regulations. Like right now, as I mentioned, there is a limit on your big catfish. 1 per person per day that's over, it's either 34 or 36 inches. I can't remember. It don't ever apply to me because I don't ever keep any. But that's the regulations for the big fish. The small fish have no limits whatsoever. Anything under 34 inches you can keep to your heart's content. And when those regulations were set, however long ago it's been, and I don't think they've ever changed in my lifetime, but that was the research, whatever they had done to determine that was probably adequate back when they enacted those regulations. Let's see what's happening here with our left rod. Something hit our line over there. We may switch out our baits here in a little bit. Where are we at? We almost at an hour here. So, say another 30 minutes to an hour from now, that would have been about the time period I started busting them yesterday. And I didn't know if they'd been biting the whole time, or if when I moved over here is kind of when that bite window was happening. Who knows? I guess we'll find out today. If we get bit about 30 minutes to an hour from now and we start catching fish repeatedly, we'll kind of know. But these regulations, man, they're all reactionary. Like, they don't, and this ain't just true of my state, but like, all of these states, they all wait till there's a problem, then study it, which takes a while to complete a study. Then once they get the results from that, then they implement the changes. Well, hell, by that point in time, the damage is done. And some fish species, it won't necessarily hurt as bad because they'll bounce back quicker once the changes are made. Fish that are faster growing can bounce back a little quicker. But when you're talking about something like catfish, and there's debates, there's arguments about how long does it take to grow a trophy-sized catfish? Something that's, I'm not talking, I mean, we got hit hard. Has he got it? Something thumped it, man. It's like he smacked it. I thought maybe he had held the bait, but maybe he just tail slapped it. It was probably one of those right there on the screen. Since we're 21 feet deep here. He hit it, but he didn't take it down. It's almost like he just come up and just smacked it. But how long does it take to grow a true trophy-sized fish? I'm not talking about like the 34-incher to get you a certificate in Tennessee type deal that the state agencies will call a trophy so they can get $5 out of you because you want that certificate. I'm talking like true trophy-class fish. How long does it take? I don't know that anybody really knows. Some people will tell you 20 years. Some people say 10 years. Different bodies of water will certainly be different time periods. I mean, it's all going to depend on water temperatures, water levels, forage available. I mean, all that's going to play a role. No two bodies of water are going to grow fish at exactly the same rate. But the point is, it don't matter if it's the lower end of the spectrum, say 10 years, or the higher end up near 20 years. It's a long damn time. So if you hurt the fishery, you can't bounce back quickly. I mean, it's going to take you a decade. And, you know, and the problem, again, with these damn state agencies is everything's reactive. You can't, nobody's actively studying or monitoring. Yeah, they'll do their little krill surveys, and I get stopped, but I never see a game warden ever. I always say game wardens here are like Bigfoot. You hear stories of their existence, but nobody's ever actually seen one. But I do see the survey person probably 2 or 3 times a year. I'll get stopped and they'll ask me 10 minutes worth of questions. And it's always, what are you fishing for? How far did you drive to get here? How much money did you spend on this trip? Oh, right up. A little small fish messing with it over there. But it's always stuff like that. And so they'll take that information of what people are catching, what they're fishing for, etc., and they'll kind of formulate, I guess they call that research best they can. But the problem is fishermen are liars. You know, if you go out there getting skunked, you're probably not going to admit you're getting skunked. I mean, it's, when I'm answering them questions, I'm answering truthfully, but hell, I'm just trying to get rid of the guy so I can get back to fishing most of the time. And I don't know that that's very accurate. So there's no real-time studies going on, and so they're not going to study anything until enough people start complaining and be like, boy, we ain't catching no fish, or we ain't catching no big fish. And then you complain long enough, maybe then you get somebody to take up the cause and start looking into it. And then, like I said, then you got to do an actual study, which will take who knows how long. Meanwhile, the fishery just continues to decline. And so when changes are finally made, whoop-de-doo, because now you've run it into the ground so much, you've got at least a decade before it's going to bounce back. And then it's like, you know, it's incredibly frustrating. We're seeing that now, and they did make some changes, probably. You know, time runs together. I can't remember exactly when it was. But they changed our rules here in Tennessee as far as skipjack goes. They put a 100 skipjack per person per day limit in place. And I can't remember how many years ago that's been now. But it was in response to the popularity of catfishing growing, because used to, man, when I was a teenager, this is back before I had a boat, I'd just go over below the dams and catch skipjack for fun. Back when I didn't need them, they were fun to catch. When you start needing skipjack, it becomes a job. It becomes work, because you need them. It becomes something you have to do if you want to go catfishing. But back when I was a kid and teenager, like, you just go catching below the dams, and they were fun and prevalent, and you just catch a bunch of them. Well, then catfishing started to grow in popularity, kind of started to take off. More and more people started using them, taking them for their own use, and then other people who couldn't catch them would buy them from bait dealers, and they would start catching as many as they could to sell. And the demand for those things right now is so high that if you go buy one at a bait shop, you're probably going to spend $7 to $8 for one skipjack. And if you use the size of the baits that I use when I use skipjack, I mean, it's going to cost you $1 to $2 every time you bait your hook. Like, I mean, if you're buying your skipjack, buddy, you're paying a fortune to go catfishing. But because of that, you just had all this pressure on the skipjack population. Just people, bait dealers. Oh, that felt like a pretty good thump right there. There he goes. That one felt like a good thump. Oh, he's gonna pull. Get your sunglasses on, folks. Well, he's got us spun right into the sun. He ain't fighting now. He had that good surge. Now he ain't wanting to fight. Is he wrapped up in the line or something? What's going on with this? I want a better fight out of you, fish. That's pretty good. That's a fun sizer. I got a glimpse of him there, best I can. I'm having to squint because we're looking right at the sun. Yeah, okay, business picked up. This is an improvement. This is an improvement over the first one. I feel like I need to loosen my drag a smidge too. There we go. I want to be breaking off. I didn't retie our leaders before this trip. I meant to, and I didn't. That may bite us at some point. I wanted to retie the leaders with the same hooks because we've been testing those things out. I want to see how many fish we can catch before we break them or dull them. Be able to give Catfish Sumo some feedback. We'll play him out here just a little bit. He had that surge and then he kind of give up, and now he's wanting to pull a little more. We still got this other piece of shad where we put that head on. Uh-oh, we're doubled. Oh, we're doubled. Oh, he let it go. No, he's back on it. He's back on it now. Y'all reel in one of these fish for me, would you? Get one of these rods. Look here, we're doubled. We're doubled. I'm gonna set that in back, I reckon. We're gonna deal with the one in the hand here first. I swear I can't get y'all to lift a finger to help me on these trips. You see me struggling here. I'm one man, folks. I ain't got but 2 hands. Takes 2 hands, at least does me, to reel in fish, so. Lordy days, we've gone through some, and I can't get y'all to reel one in. I don't know who the hell goes fishing, don't want to reel in a fish, but I can't get you to do it. I'm gonna get this one back up here and get him in a net. And then we'll reel in his friend. Come on, fish. We got to move on to your friend here. He's patiently waiting over here. I don't want them getting wrapped up with each other, that's for dang sure. Come on. Spin right in that net. There you go. That's a good one. That's a good one right here. Let's set him there just a second, if we can. Put that back in the rod holder. Now, let's reel up his friend here and just kind of get a feel for what we're dealing with on this one. I think this one's going to be probably a little bit smaller than the one on the floor here. I want to get a look at him though, and then we'll leave him in the water. Yeah, I mean, that's a quality fish. It's another fun sizer, just a smidge smaller than the one in the floor. So let's set it back in the rod holder. I'm gonna put y'all up here in the front seat. And I tell you what too, let's spin around. That way we can get a picture of this fish in the sun. If we got the sun behind us, it puts a shadow over the fish, and it don't make for a good family portrait here on this fish, and he wants the best picture he can get, folks. He told me he did. That's why he came here today, specifically to get a picture with us. Mainly he wants a picture with you. He says I'm ugly. All right. Oh, that one's still mad over here, buddy. But that one right there, it's got a belly on it, man. That fish is spinning us back around away from the sun, fish. He didn't want you getting your picture. You got a hater over here with that fish? Is that what it is? This fish's got a hater. All right. We'll see you, buddy. Get on with yourself. Tell you what, let's do. Let's move this net a second. Before we land this one, let's take our other bait here and get it dropped down. I'm not going to pedal us back upstream on that one. There might be some more fish with those two, but if they're that size range, I would just assume kind of keep moving. See if we can run into something bigger down through here. I'm not displeased with the size of either one of these fish. Like those are good fish, but, and you know, still we're on the move. We're trying to find something, a whopper today. There's that bait, by the way. All right, let's send it back down. We'll land this one. Doubled up though, y'all. I'll fist pump it. That's awesome. You know, again, we're kind of getting to that time period now where yesterday, that's when I was catching them. And so, I mean, it's, when you get on a time period that fish are feeding, it will oftentimes remain around that time until something changes. Weather conditions, water conditions, whatever. And so we're not really having a change with the weather until tomorrow when them storms or whatever move in. So that may throw off the bite or the timing or whatever. But today it may, hopefully going to be around the same time here. Don't be splashing me, fish. Yep, let's bring him on in. Comparable, very, very comparable. Yep, fish, I hear you. I hear you. All right, let's throw that over there and let's hold you up. Show you off to the viewing audience. Nice, man, another fun sizer. Just a smidge smaller than his friend. A double though. We'll see you. Arrivederci, fish, arrivederci. Well, he left the head bait on, but we're gonna switch it out. I wanna freshen it up. It's about time for a refresh on our baits anyway. So we'll just get another one out here and just go ahead and cut that and drop it down right now. Drop it down post haste, folks, post haste. We'll do it in a hurry here. Try to get this thing back in the water. Old Gizzard Shad continuing to get it done for us. There we go. Toss that old head out there. Run that hook through. Hook point still doing good. Remind me to tell you about these hooks now. We'll get some talking to do about those. All right, down it goes. Just kind of, I think we're okay as far as our location on this ledge. I might need to move us a little bit to the left, but I think we're okay. All right, man. I'm about to bust out my sunglasses too. Y'all get your shades out there. You're gonna need it. Where are we at on, yeah, a little over an hour now, so 3 fish in roughly an hour. Not too bad. 3 fish plus some other taps that we had. If we'd hooked up on those, we'd have had a pretty good hour there, but I'm hoping we get some more. I hope we run into some more fish and hopefully we get on some whoppers, man. That's what we want today, whoppers. Whopper hunting. But no, to finish up on the bait regulation issue, like with the skipjack, let me get it spun back around. Man, like, they made the change 100 per person per day, which, I mean, that's still a lot of skipjack, but what changed with the behavior of people, at first, they just started putting more people on the boat. Bait dealer would take a wife and his kids, and so now you got 4 people on a boat. Well, now you can have 400 skipjack. And then I think some of them realized that there's nobody policing it because you don't have anybody out there actually checking people's coolers and whatnot. You can just keep whatever the hell you want to, and nobody's going to do anything about it. You'll never get caught. It's kind of like posting a speed limit of 55 on the interstate. Well, Nobody's going to drive 55 on the interstate unless there's a cop out there writing speeding tickets, right? If there ain't a cop out there, people's going to do 70, 80 miles an hour, normal interstate speeds. So what the hell good is a law if you ain't going to enforce it? And so here we are, a few years later, like we had an obvious situation for anybody who was into catfishing. You could see that skipjack were under a ton of pressure. More and more people were using them for their own personal catfishing. More and more people were catching them to resell. Bait shops were charging ridiculous amounts of money and they're charging $7, $8 a piece and yet can't keep them in stock because there's such a demand on these things. So it was obvious there was a lot of pressure on these fish, and finally they enact the regulations they did a few years ago. But fast forward to now, when's the last time, regular viewers, when's the last time y'all seen me use skipjack on video? Back in March? I think it was March because I took them down to Alabama. That's the only skipjack I've gotten all year. We're damn near halfway into this year, 2026 here, and I can't catch skipjack if my life depended on it. Like if you told me to go out today and catch skipjack, there's a chance I couldn't do it. I don't even try anymore. It ain't worth my time. I'd rather just go get some dang gizzard shad and come out here and fish with them, because at least I can get shad quickly. They're reliable and I can do it quick. But I mean, if you give me my preference, I would prefer to be out here with some skipjack, have a big hunk of a bloody, oily meat down there. Of course I'd rather have that. But I can't catch them. And I don't know anybody around here that's in my area that's catching them. Why? I don't know why. Is it the pressure? Did they have maybe a couple bad spawning years? Were they just getting hammered in certain places so they move and change their behavior? I don't know. All I know is I ain't catching them. And I don't know anybody in my area who is with any kind of consistency. It's like when people do get on them, you get on a small school of them and catch a few and then they're gone, and then it ain't like it. The point is, it ain't like it used to be. It used to be, man, and especially in the spring, you could wear them out as they made their spawning run, and then I could almost kind of time it. I would follow the fish upriver as they were going to make their way up to spawn, and then I would follow them back downriver as the spawn ended. And I'd have fish from winter all the way through summer and being able to just kind of follow their seasonal movements. I can't do that anymore. I even when they're spawning, like I can't even find them at that. So it's like, what do you do with that? If you're a fishing game agency, like, what do you do? What do you do with that? Because at this point now, to my knowledge, there's no studies going on whatsoever for the skipjack. Because I mean, they're low on the totem pole as far as the fishing game offices go, right? Nobody cares about skipjack, old trash fish. So even if they did a study, if they started it now, by the time they get their results from that, it's like, what I mean, you're talking years. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's just maybe they had a couple bad spawning years. Maybe it bounces back. I don't know what the hell's happened though, but I just know that I apparently just got worse at fishing for them. I mean, that's what, if there ain't a problem with the population of skipjack, then I apparently just suck at catching them. I apparently have regressed in my fishing abilities, because that's the only other explanation. Otherwise, I would be catching them like normal. You would think I would get better at catching them over time, not worse. But that's the only other plausible explanation, is I just got bad at it. So I don't know, man. Like I don't know what the solution is. It's the same thing with the like commercial aspect of it, from the catfish perspective. It's like there's a balance somewhere in there, but I'm not smart enough or educated enough to know what that balance is or how to enforce it, even if I did know. Because the only thing, and when they put these laws in place, the only thing the laws do is keep honest people in check. Like the criminals, they're going to do what they're going to do if you ain't going to enforce it. Like, yeah, I mean, that's the way it is. So basically, you just got to do your thing, try to adapt. I'm out here, I can't catch skipjack. Okay, let me try other baits. Right now, shad's working the best for me. I've tried some bluegill and shellcracker and yellow bass and things like that on some recent trips. I've caught fish on the shellcracker there this weekend. I've actually got one shellcracker, as a matter of fact, in my bag still. Y'all, I disregard my stomach growling. I didn't have breakfast today, so my belly's going to growl out here the whole time. You'll probably hear some of it on camera. But you got to adapt. And if you're not able to get the bait you want, well, then you just use the bait you can get. I've said it in a bunch of videos, like you just got to take what the river gives you. And lately, it's been giving me shad with pretty easily, especially now that I found that area where all them gizzards are trapped. I'm not cleaning that area out. Like like you saw when I showed you my bait bag there earlier. I went out there yesterday, I made a few throws, just enough to get us today and possibly tomorrow if I do end up fishing in the morning. I don't know if I will or not. We'll take a look at the weather forecast tonight and then figure out, will I have a chance to fish in the morning before the storms come in? Do I want to try to do that if I can, or do I want to go ahead and just film that damn bicycle segment with Daphne the dog in the morning before the storms move in? We'll figure that out. But I went ahead and got enough bait just in case. So that way we could either, if we got on a 30 fish day today, which it don't look like that's going to happen out here today, but if we did, we'd have enough bait for that or have enough bait for 2 trips. And all the other shad that was in there, I left them. Because I don't want to be wasteful. I mean, shad are a very prolific breeder. I mean, they make when they have babies, they make gazillions of babies, but it's not an unlimited resource. Nothing out here in this river is unlimited. Nothing. Except for maybe the pollution. That seems to be pretty unlimited. But, I mean, the fish, there's a tipping point on all of this that you don't want to cross. And I'm just not, that's not my world. I'm not a biologist. I don't claim to be. I don't know what that is or how to enforce it, but I just know, I can see it with my own eyes when there's a problem. Like, you don't have to wait for the government or for science or research or whatever to tell you what's right in front of your face. If you're out on the water, if you're fishing regularly and you see a decline in something, and especially something like skipjack that were predictable for, gosh, the last 20 years, and then all of a sudden they're not predictable anymore. It's like, did they suddenly just change their behavior, or did something else happen? Now, I've seen that take place too with the catfish. There's one section of the river, and I filmed a video there a few weeks ago. It was the video where I caught them big striped bass. That section of the river, you could set your clock, man. You could set your watch. About April, I could go out there on that stretch, catch big blues, catch big flatheads, and luck into some striped bass as well. And so I fished it a lot that time of year. You go back in time on my channel, man, I've got a bunch of videos on that stretch because I would wear it out every year. It was fun. It was fun and it was predictable. I knew I was going to get some trophy fish, and I knew I was going to get good numbers of fish also. Like, that's the thing. Like, I would bust a lot of big trophy fish during that time period, but I would also have days where I would catch a bunch of fish. Like, it was the best of both worlds. And it was relatively close to home. So, like, it was perfect scenario for me, honestly. But the last 3 or 4 years, I ain't filmed much there. Why? Because I ain't doing no good. When I have gone, I'm not catching fish, or maybe you get 2 or 3 small fish, like not really enough for a video. The trophy fish seem to be gone. Not catching flatheads there like I used to. And so, and I'll give you an example. So I go out there, I think I fished there 3 times this year. The first time I fished there, I got, I think 1 or 2 fun sizers comparable to what we got a few minutes ago here, and then some small fish. And I'd done an edited video out of that. Then I went out there that day and got the stripers, and the stripers made the video. Like, for those of you that watch, like, I got 2 big stripers. And I got some small cats too, but the small cats, like, if I hadn't got those stripers, I would have scrapped that video, because I mean, it was just a few small cats. That was it. I would have scrapped it. Those stripers made the trip. And then I went back another day after that, hoping to get some more stripers if they were there, and I didn't catch a damn thing. So, like, that stretch of river that used to be just predictable, set your watch by it, and you knew you could get a bite there every year, what happened? Did those fish just say, like, you know what? Let's just not stop here as we migrate along. Let's just keep going, because if we do stop and eat here, we're going to get caught. Did they really, I mean, is that really what happened, or did something happen? Maybe there's not as many fish there, whatever. Did they get taken out? Was there some disease and maybe some of them died off? Like, what the hell happened? But I mean, for the last 3 or 4 years, it's not been worthwhile to even try to go catch a fish there. It ain't worthwhile. I'd just rather go somewhere else, take my chances. I've still gone occasionally to that area because of just past success, but I can't keep going out there knowing that I'm probably not going to do any good. So, you know, it's just, you deal with these changes, and you got to play the hand you're dealt in that situation. Like, kind of like with the bait, you got to take what the river gives you, play the hand you're dealt. And if that section of the river is just not going to produce anymore for whatever reason, well, you got to move on. You got to move on, go find some different places, and hopefully find some different bites, and hope that it lasts. So I don't know, man. You can speculate as to what caused it. Is it the fishing pressure? Is it commercial guys taking fish out? Is it disease? Is it pollution? Change of behavior? Like, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and a person that's good at debating with half a brain could make an argument for any of them, as that rod got tapped. Come on, fish, let's come on up now. He's going to run. Oh, no, y'all lost another one somehow. Did he steal our bait? He flung our bait up the line. I don't know if we want to switch this bait out or not. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and switch that out. Got this other piece laying here on the floor. The innards and stuff is still in there. It didn't feel like a very big fish. He pulled hard, but he didn't feel very big. He may have not have had the hook. He may have just had the bait. Snip all these fins off here. I've been doing, man, my bigger fish, though, have been coming on kind of this size bait, about $half size. Of course, could be because that's what they want, and it could be because that's what I've been using because that's what I've had. It's like, yeah, man, all my fish coming on $half size baits. Well, what other size baits you using? Well, I'm only using $half size baits. Well, that's why. But that's, I mean, you got to take what the river gives you, as I said, and well, that's what the river's been giving me lately, is that size of shad. So let me get it spun back around here. So I don't know, man. You just got to move. You got to adapt. If I can't get skipjack, I'll use shad or something else. If I can't catch fish in one place, move on to the next. I do hate that section of the river, though, I hate that it kind of went down the crapper because, I mean, it was very convenient just being so close to home. But ain't no point in going out there if you know you ain't gonna do no good. That day I got the big stripers, though. That was fun. I don't get a lot of stripers anymore. And I've had people ask me about that. It's like, well, Justin, longtime viewers and stuff, they'll be like, man, you used to catch stripers pretty regularly, and you don't anymore. What happened? Well, I mean, the first thing was just changing locations. Like the places I used to get them, and stripers, I mean, they're mostly accidental catch. I have targeted them with artificials on some videos in the past, but like when I'm catfishing, those are accidental catches, right? Like I'm not trying to catch them, but I'm happy when I do get them. But because those areas that I used to get the stripers, because they're not producing catfish anymore, I'm not on those sections of the river, so therefore I'm not going to catch as many stripers. The other thing that's changed that's negatively impacted my striper catches is just how I fish. Like used to, days that I would anchor fish, if we had current, I would cast my baits out and they would be on bottom. And that was a way more productive technique as far as catching stripers than suspending baits, like fishing vertically like we're doing today. I would catch a fair number of stripers on cut bait on bottom, but if I take those same baits and suspend them just off the bottom, I don't get as many stripers. I've caught some suspended, I've caught some stripers dragging, but not the number of them that I've caught when I've cast baits out and had them on bottom. And I just don't fish like that anymore. I rarely ever anchor down and cast baits out. If I'm anchored, I'm usually suspending because I enjoy it more. It's more fun to suspend baits. And that's how I want to fish. But it does negatively impact the striper catches. So it's just one of those sacrifices. But the big difference though is I just don't fish the sections of rivers where they're at. And the day I caught them in that video, got them two big ones, I was using live shad. I had netted my bait when I got on the water that morning, and I'd kept them in the bait tank, and so they were hitting live baits that were suspended, not cut baits that were suspended. And that's something I wish I could do more of too, would be use things like live shad and live skipjack. But the thing is, I'm gonna lower these baits down a little bit. We're dropping off to about 24 feet here. But the thing with using live bait in a kayak is I don't have a way to keep them alive for a very long period of time and keep them in good condition, unless I catch them as soon as I get on the water. And that's possible sometimes depending on where I'm at. Like if I'm launching, even if I'm going to be fishing out in the main river channel, if I launch in a creek, well, I can maybe throw the net around the launch or something like that in those backwater areas and get some shad before I head out. But you have to plan for that. And like today, man, hell, I'm already getting up at 4:30 to try to make it to the water before the sun comes up. I was like, if we got to come out and give ourselves, say, 20, 30 minutes extra to catch shad before we start fishing, well, hell, I'm going to be getting up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to do that. So I would rather, in a perfect world, I would rather catch my bait ahead of time, and then when I get on the water, be ready to start catfishing. Well, when it comes to live bait, to keep shad alive, at least the number of shad that we would want to have for a trip, you need a big tank and something with some filtration in it, and I just can't carry that in a kayak. And even putting a larger, say you put a larger tank in the truck or something, and then transfer the shad back and forth to a smaller tank for kayak purposes, that's a pain in the ass. Because then you got to have 2 tanks that you got to carry with you. One portable one for the kayak, and then one bigger one for the truck. And I don't want to fool with all that. So I rarely ever fish with live bait. And I'll catch some catfish with the live bait. But most of my catfish through the years, even the flatheads, have come on cut bait. I've had some pretty epic live bait catches. But just for consistency purposes, like I know I'm going to do better fishing with cut bait. So I don't use, for those reasons, I don't use live bait a lot. But I mean, I would use it more. I would probably, if I had the ability to keep them alive easily and be able to transfer them back and forth the kayak easily, I could have kept some of them shad alive there yesterday that we caught. And at least once a week, go out and maybe have a live bait trip. Instead of coming down through here with cut bait today, maybe it would be just 2 live baits. Maybe dedicate 1 day a week or 1 day every other week to it. But it's just not realistic. I can keep things like bluegill and crappie, yellow bass, your more hardy fish species, I can keep them alive in a smaller container and keep enough of them in there, like my other cooler there that I can rig up for live bait. It's like 7 gallons. So, it's not a lot of water. But things like bluegill and crappie and yellow bass, they're a little bit more hardy. As long as you keep your water cool and keep it oxygenated, you can keep them in good condition overnight to be able to, if you catch them, say yesterday, you could come out today and be able to fish with them. But shad, man, they'll start shedding their slime and their scales and pooping, and you gotta keep that water filtered, and it's just tough to keep them alive in a small container. I can keep maybe 1 or 2 alive, but to keep as many as we would want to have, this fish right here says he don't care about no live shad. He wants him a piece of cut shad, and he just let it go. He was barely tugging on it. I need to check that drag again. I think my reels need to be serviced a little bit. The drags are starting to catch a little more. I've caught a lot of fish on these on these reels, and they're starting to show their age a little bit. I'm digging the gear I'm using though. I've been doing the light tackle stuff a lot more really for the last year now, and I'm into it. I've been working with Catfish Sumo on these, trying to design the perfect lighter action catfish rod. I don't know that we'd call it a light action, quote unquote, but lighter than your typical catfish rods in the market. And so we've been tinkering. I should be getting the next sample soon, probably in the next couple weeks here, the next iteration. And eventually we're going to get one of these that's going to be right. These are 2 different rods here, but neither one of them are exactly how they need to be. They need to be, and they'll be different. As far as the looks, these are just kind of vanilla right now because they're just prototypes, but the finished product's going to look completely different. It's going to be a completely different look as far as just the aesthetics of it go, but the action's what's most important that we're trying to dial in right now. And so we hopefully get the next one in my hands here in the next couple weeks, be able to put it to use, give the feedback on it, and then when we get everything dialed in, we'll launch these things. But I'm digging it, man. I'm having a lot of fun with the lighter gear, like the fish we got earlier, and maybe this one over here on the left rod that's tugging on that head a little bit. That's another small one, though. I don't think he's probably just got the very edge of that bait. Tell him to doo-doo or get off the pot, as the saying goes. He's just wanting to chew up that bait. That's all he's wanting to do. Might be one of them old channel cats. He back on it again. He's just going to keep messing with it, ain't he? I'm telling you, fish, you better get it and the hook, or I'm going to be upset with you. You either get a hook in the jaw or you leave it alone. That's your two options. He said he'll do whatever he wants. He got a bad attitude, don't he? Let me just speed along here. Maybe we can run away from him. I don't want to move us too fast because then we might pass up some fish accidentally. But I was trying to say, like the fish we got earlier, fun sizers, right? Nice fish, decent fish. They buried these rods. I mean, that was fun. Drag pulling, rod doubled over. Like, that's fun. On my heavier gear, those fish would have still put up a good fight, but we wouldn't have had near the takedown. The fight wouldn't have lasted nearly as long. It would have been, we still can't get away from this thing. He's going to chew that bait up. I wish he'd get that hook just enough for me to stick him with it and make him think twice. No, he ain't got it. I don't think he's big enough to get the bait and the hook. He's just down there chewing on, yeah, you can see he's chewing on the edges. You see right here? He's biting that and pulling it. We need to change it out too. He's done tore it up. Dang old fish down there ruining baits. When we ain't got but 2 rods out, I like my baits to be good condition. You know what I mean, Vern? Like when you've only got 2 down there, they need to be in kind of tip-top shape if you've got enough of them anyway. Now, if we're short on bait, and we're not today, thankfully, but like if we were, we'd just have to make do. Reuse baits and all that, but like if you got plenty, then they need to be in good shape, because when you get your bait in front of that trophy fish down there, when you finally do put it in front of one of them, you want to have them something that they're going to be enticed by. But yeah, man, I've just been enjoying the lighter tackle, the lighter gear, and it's really all I want to do anymore. And that's another thing about going down to that tournament on Saturday. I knew I was going to need to use my heavier gear. I mean, for tournament purposes, I want to be able to kind of winch fish in, you know. I want to give myself the best chance to land them and succeed. With this lighter gear, you're going to have, especially on big fish, like you're going to have maybe a fish break your line, or something go wrong because the fight lasted so long, or whatever. I mean, you're going to lose more fish in this scenario. And on a normal trip like today, I don't care. I mean, sure, if you lose a monster, it'd be a little kick to the gonads, but not the end of the world. Tournament day, though, losing a fish could be the difference between winning or losing, or cashing a check and not getting anything. Like, So in those situations, even though I want to fish with this gear, I'd be more inclined to use my tried and true heavy gear. And I've just been so into this lately, it's like I don't really want to use the, the heavier stuff anymore. Something was after our right rod now. It's one of those. We're coming across some fish. We're coming across them. Okay, that one's hooked up. He's going up under us too, buddy. Oh boy. See those big takedowns like that? Rod doubled in half. That's fun, man. That's fun. I enjoy the hell out of this. I don't enjoy him going over there and getting in our other line, which he just done. I think he done it on purpose too. I think that was intentional. Did one of y'all tell him to do that? I think one of you's probably told him to, just to set me up. Make a fool of me getting lines tangled on video like this. He's probably gonna run a bunch of circles around it too. Get it good and tangled. But yeah, this right here, man, on the lighter gear, it's fun. I wish these rods were just a smidge lighter. Just a smidge. But, I mean, they're not bad. I don't hate them. I just wish they were a little bit lighter. Did he come out of our other line? No, he's still in our other line. Oh, hell, there's our other bait. Our other bait's in his tail. He not only got wrapped up in our line, I think we've hooked him with our other line too. He's all wrapped up in it. My gosh. You old laundry fish. It's another fun sizer. Not the monster we're after, but a decent fish. I wish you hadn't have done that, fish. My gosh, you have. Let's get the hook out of you first, and then we'll see if we can unwrap this mess. You've gone and done it. Why'd you swim that way for? If you had swam the other way, this would not be a problem right now. But you just had to go. You took a right when you should have took a left. Okay. Well, that was easy. Now we just got to get this one unwrapped from him. And I think we'll be set again. Okay. Get out of here. You're about to flop. He's about to flop around and act a fool. That wasn't as bad as I anticipated. That bait still looks good, so we will toss that back over. Get the net out of the way. I'm gonna reel it up, just make sure our line ain't all jacked up here. It is all jacked up. That's what I was afraid of. He got all spun around in it. Let's see what we can do with it here. If you're going to fish in a kayak with multiple lines, folks, get ready. You're going to have some tangles. I don't get as many now as what I did when I was fishing with like four rods, but I still get some tangles when fish swim into them. Like it's part of the game. That's all I can tell you. If you don't want tangles, then don't fish with multiple rods. And with this lighter braid, oftentimes you get tangled up with it, you're gonna have to cut because it's gonna be all knotted up on you. Let's get spun back around here and get off this ledge. We come up a little bit shallow there on the bank. Not paying attention to that fish there. Let's just get right back over here on that bottom edge. We'll drop down, we'll rebait the one on the right, and we'll keep making our way along. That's another fish though. He was fun. Wasn't very big, but he was fun, and that's the point. That's the point of this light tackle stuff, right? Like that fish right there, smaller fun sizer. On my heavy gear, or any real, the heavier catfish rods on the market, that fish would have been a 30-second fight, which it probably wasn't much longer than that on the light tackle. But if you're using heavy rods, heavy line, drag locked down on your reel, that fight is over in seconds, and you barely get a bend in the rod. In our situation, it was still a short fight. But boy, he had the drag pulling. He had the rod doubled in half. I mean, that fish, we caught it regardless, but it ended up being way more fun. And I've just been enjoying the hell out of this. And I want to get these rods dialed in right. I want them to be just a little bit, still have backbone, but still just be a little bit lighter. And yeah. And these hooks, although our hookup percentage ain't been very good today, I think that's not the hooks. I think it's the way the fish have bit today. I think we've had some small fish, probably. Like that one bait I showed you is tore up on the very edge of it. Like, I think that's how them smaller fish have been getting. They've not been getting the actual hook on the ones that we've lost. I don't think it's a problem with the hooks, because the big fish that I've caught with these hooks, they've done well. But this is a new hook. It's going along with the rods, like Catfish Sumo. I've talked them into making everything I want, basically, with this light tackle stuff, from the rods, the hooks, etc. They already got sinkers that I like, because they got them liners in there. And the liners keep you from having to use a bead to protect your knot, because that little plastic liner inside the lead, it keeps your line from getting abrasion as the sinker slides up and down and pounds on your knot. So they already had those, which are perfect for this, but I wanted some lighter wire hooks in various sizes, and I had been using the Gamakatsu shiner hooks, and I'm fine with those. Like, those are a good quality hook. But I know Catfish Sumo could make them cheaper. And so I would like to have a cheaper option for people. And so we got those, and those are a 3/0 size, and they're a Kale style hook. And these hooks are trip number 4 with these same 2 hooks. So I used them for the first time there on Friday, which would have been my last long video. I used them in both of the 2 previous edited videos that you all have seen. And then out here today. And I should have retied my leaders before we come out here today, but it is what it is. We'll roll with it. Hopefully we don't break off. I think our line's still okay, but it would be good practice to just, before I come out on every trip, to replace the leader line, because you're using, in this case, we're using 15-pound fluorocarbon. Like, there's not a lot of play there. Like, I mean, if you're catching a big fish and you got a little bit of abrasion on there from a previous trip, like, that can cost you, That can be the difference in landing a fish or not. So I should be replacing them every trip, but I just lazy and forgot. And so we're rolling with the same leaders. But the hooks, though, I wanted to really put them through the paces and try to see how many fish we can catch before we either bend them, or I break them taking them out of a fish, or we bend or dull a hook point. Like, that's the kind of thing you need to know to make sure you got a good quality hook. Now, if I do break them getting out of a fish, like, that's not necessarily a sign of a bad hook. Hold on, look right here. Look at all that. We're going across some stuff right now. I have broken even some of the Gamakatsu hooks. Like, that's a good quality, reputable brand, but I've broken some of them using the pliers, getting them out of fish, because they'll be hooked in an odd way, like either in the tooth patch or like behind the jawbone, and you kind of got to try to like pull and twist at an odd angle or something, and I've broken some hooks doing that, but I haven't bent on a fish. Like I haven't bent any of them, and that was a concern using these smaller, lighter wire hooks on such big fish, is that you would maybe either have your drag too tight and bend a hook, or you might hook them at an odd angle in the mouth and end up bending them. But I've not had that happen either on the Gamakatsus or so far on these. And you know, again, now I've not caught a lot of fish now on these last 4 trips, like total volume of fish, quantity. But the size of fish I've caught on these things over the last 4 trips, even though we ain't got a monster here today, like the other trips we have. And I think they've done pretty well. So I think the hope is going to offer, or Catfish Sumo is going to offer a variety of sizes in them. And you can kind of pick your poison. Ideally, you want to match the size of your hook to the size of your bait. Whatever hook you're using, whatever bait you're using that day, you want your hook to match it. I am very bad about being lazy. Like I use whatever hook I got tied on. So when I'm using the heavy geared, I'm using 10-aught size circle hooks. If we're using baits the size we are today, it goes on that 10-aught size hook, even though the hook's way too big. If, like when I used the shell cracker a couple days ago, that was a big old shell cracker, man. Too big a bait for the size of the hook, but you know what, we rolled with it because that's what I got tied on. I want to keep things simple from that aspect. Like I don't want to have to, one of them fish just hit that rod. It's going down. It's one of those right there. He's on it. It's a slow pull. It ain't acting like a big fish though. He come free. It was acting like a small one. I've seen 2 or 3 of them right there on the screen though. But I'm lazy about it. Like whatever I got tied on, that's what I'm going to use. And I want to keep things simple. So like I had been running the number 1s. And of course, Catfish Sumo, they sent me these try out. They sent the 3-aught size. That's the only size I got in them. That's why I'm using, oh, that was a better thump. Something smacked it. I want to make, before I reach for that rod, I want to make sure you got it, fish. I think maybe he does. Yeah, oh, yeah, I set the hook on that. He feels, he's gone. I went to set the hook and I hooked into something solid right there. I apparently didn't hook into it, but it felt solid when I pulled up, I should say. Here I am talking about these hooks and you fish are making me look bad. Again, I don't think it's a problem with the hooks though. I think it's just the way they're getting the bait today. I just don't think they're fully committing to it. I think they're just latching down on the ends of them. Wave at the bass boat, y'all. I've had fish that I have fought all the way to the surface before that never had the hook. Like you get them all the way up the side of the kayak, you see them, and then they just let go. And they never had the hook. They're just literally clamped down on the end of the bait. Speaking of bait, right there's a big school. Shad, right there under us. So anyhow, I've been pestering Catfish Sumo for years now to make me a larger thin wire hook. And the reason I've wanted that is because of kayak fishing, specifically suspend fishing in a kayak. You've got a few things working against you. First off, when a fish hits the bait, whatever give you have in your rod tip, especially like if you're using a lighter action rod, the flimsier the rod tip, the harder it's going to be to drive that hook past the barb in the fish's mouth, right? So if you're using a thicker wire, thicker gauge hook, you're going to need that fish to pull harder if he hits the bait, or you're going to have to set the hook harder if you're doing it manually. Thinner wire, you don't have to have as much pressure because it's going to go through easier. And the other thing with the kayak, if a fish loads up a rod and I go to lean over to grab the rod, I am taking pressure off the fish when I shift my weight to that side. So again, you're taking pressure off the fish, and you need more pressure to stick the thicker wire hooks past the barb. So he's back on it again. One of them is. They're just messing with it. I'm telling you, fish, you better get it. Leave it alone if you ain't gonna eat it. Okay, you left it alone. But anyway, like, you've just got a lot of stuff working against you when you're using a heavier gauge, heavier wire hook in a kayak. So I've wanted Catfish Sumo to make a larger size, like a 10-aught size hook that's thin wire. I've wanted it for years, and I haven't been able to sell that idea because, and the reason why, it's a culture thing. So most catfishermen, when you're using heavy gear, and I'm like this with my heavy gear, you keep your drags locked down because you're using heavy rods, heavy line. You're using the thicker wire hooks. Like, a fish can load up the rod and just go, and you're just going to play tug of war with basically no give, because there's nothing to give on a fish, or on your tackle, I mean. And if they were to make a larger thin wire hook and people kept their drags locked down like normal, well, you're going to have hooks bending or breaking all the time. And that's bad for business when people start bashing you on social media, like, oh, I bought these new hooks and they just bend right away. I've bent every one of them. Well, it wouldn't necessarily be the hook's fault. It's the fact that they maybe got their drag cranked all the way down. If you're going to use the thin wire hook, you've got to play your drag. You have to. You can't have a super tight drag on a thin wire hook. You'll bend it every time. Not the hook's fault, your fault. But that's bad for business if people start getting online and being like, well, this brand new hook, they're bending. Every one of them's bending. Nobody's going to admit their own fault. So that's bad for business. And so they won't do it. Nobody will make me that hook that I wanted. But now, with the lighter stuff and the smaller hooks, I've been able to get them to dabble into this a little bit. I may still never get a 10-aught size light wire hook out of them, but the 1s, 1-aughts, 3-aughts, 5-aughts, maybe I can. And that's what I told Catfish Sumo too. I'm like, I don't think you need to do a whole line of hooks like 1-aught, 2-aught, 3-aught, 4-aught, like, on down. Like, I think you just need to do about every other size. Like these fish right here you're seeing on the screen, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now under. I don't know what they are. They may be cats and maybe something else, but something's right there under us. But like, I don't think you need a full lineup of hooks. Like, I think I have grown to like the number 1 size, but I think you do a number 1, maybe a 1-aught, maybe a 3-aught, a 5-aught, and I think that's good for the light stuff. And that would give people from a number 1 size to a 5-aught it's not so much and I've compared, like, take even the Gamakatsu hooks, like, I've compared the number 1s to a 5-aught size. There's not that much difference as far as the size of the hook gap, etc. Like, it's pretty comparable. The difference is the gauge, the wire. The 5-aught, it's just a slightly bigger hook, but the wire is a little bit thicker. And so I think people could kind of judge the size of the fish they're most likely to catch and kind of match the hook. But I mean, for me, like, I just want to carry one hook or one size of hook. Like, I'm not going to sit out here and be like, oh, well, I've got 8-inch shad today instead of the 6 inches I was using yesterday, so I'm going to change out my hooks. Like, no, I'm going to use one size of hook and just make it work. Just like I've done with the 10-aught size hooks on my heavy gear for years. Like, I've caught a gazillion fish doing that, and so that's what I want to do on the lighter gear as well. But some people, I mean, if you're a more competent and better fisherman than me, you are going to change your hooks every trip to match whatever size bait you're using. Like that, I'll be the first to admit, that's what you should do. I mean, if you really give a damn about making sure you land as many fish as possible and have the best chance of success, like, that's what you're going to do. Me, I guess I just don't care much. I don't care enough. But I have had good success. I mean, the last few trips here with these 3-aught size, we've done good. But like, even the number ones that are a little smaller. Okay, that's a better one. Better takedown anyway. Good, I'm glad one of them gives me, gives me hope that those are catfish we're seeing there on the screen. When you come across stuff like that with the 2D graph, it's impossible to know. Are you seeing cats? Are you seeing buffalo, carp, drum? A combination? Like, you know, on a 2D, I can't tell. I can't tell the difference. Live scope, you can kind of discern a little bit sometimes. Fish species, but how they're acting or behaving or how they look on the screen, that's a small dink. But on 2D, I can't tell. Come on, fish, get in there. You all wrapped up in that line, too. You all wrapped up in it. You get up here, act like somebody. Well, we've gotten the number of fish today that I thought we might get. We just haven't got the quality yet. My expectations have been so high based on recent trips that it's honestly, this poor fish here, he said he's sad he's let me down. And he didn't let me down. It's my expectations that have let me down so far today. But there's still time, ain't it, fish? We could still possibly get our golly whopper that we're after. We still might get it. The day is young, folks. I want slime off that net there, too. Okay, well, let's get us another bait out the cooler. We'll have us another old gizzard here. Old gizzard shad. Save his head too. We'll just go ahead and leave it out. We'll probably need it here shortly. We catch another one, or if it's just time to rebait. Another good thing about shad versus some of the other types of baits, I don't need a knife and a cutting board. I can just use these scissors. Well, my channel members, I actually had 2 channel members, sent me some scissors a while back, and it's just not having to carry. I've got a knife over here in my side seat pocket, but it's nice not having to carry a cutting board. I'm trying to keep this kayak here, man. I try to keep it as simple a setup as possible. I'm trying to carry as little gear, as little crap as possible in this thing to keep it lightweight. So cutting board, one of them things that we leave at the house now. And the shad certainly makes it easier since they're easily cuttable. Even the larger ones are still easily cuttable. They're soft bait. And the wind is starting to blow a little harder, and it's blowing upriver. It is going to pick up throughout the morning. I guess we're going to have to turn here, and maybe we might have to start kind of either pedaling or motoring into the wind a little bit, just to maintain our speed going down through here, cover some more water. I think we're going to be off the water today before the wind really ramps up. That may be another thing tomorrow that makes the decision for me of whether or not I'm going to either fish in the morning or film with Daphne the dog and her bicycle, is see what the wind is doing tomorrow. I know it's supposed to be bad tomorrow afternoon, but tomorrow morning it may be like today where it's okay at first light and then picks up as the morning and day goes on. I'm still seeing stuff right here on the screen, man. Like we're coming across some fish. Just can we trigger a bite? I need to put on that other shell cracker I've got. Oh, right here, just like that, just like that. We're hooked up again. That bait we just dropped back down. Nope, he's gone. Make sure he didn't steal it. No, he didn't steal it. Bite marks on the end of it, though. He never had the whole thing. They are not committing today. Kind of reluctant bite. They're like they're pulling on it, but they're not. Oh, did I just get hit? Did I imagine that? I thought something tapped me while I had it in my hand there. All right, let's get turned here again. The wind's blowing just hard enough. We either ain't going to be moving or we're going to be blowing upriver. We want to go downriver. I don't know how far we're going to work down. Kind of tough to judge at the speeds we're going and eyeballing how far we're going to go down. But anyway, y'all, I don't remember what I was saying before that fish interrupted, but I've just finish up on this topic. Like, I've been having a lot of fun with the light tackle, and it stems from, you know what all this really, going back to what it stems from, it's me getting in this kayak. So I bought this Hobie Lynx back in 2024, and it was going to be primarily my ocean kayak because it's foam and plastic. Like, it's not a typical rotomolded kayak, so it's lightweight, easy to drag through the sand, and there's nowhere for water to get inside it. You don't have to worry about it sinking out there in the ocean if you get into rough water or problems or whatever. So I bought this kayak for that purpose. And I start fishing out of it, and I'm like, man, I like this thing a lot. Like, this is my favorite kayak I've ever had to this point. And I'm like, I want to catfish out of this thing. But I ran into a problem with mounting rod holders because I couldn't drill into the hull. My only real option is to use the plastic gear tracks that are on it, and those are terrible. Like, those are, you don't want a lot of torque, like a lot of downward torque from a big heavy action rod with a drag lock down. Man, a big fish loads up on that, puts all that downward pressure on the rod tip, which is going to put upward pressure on your back end of your rod and rod holder. It wouldn't take long to just rip those things, either rip the rod holder, plumb off the kayak, lose everything overboard, or break the dang gear tracks down there. Like, it's an accident waiting to happen. So, I couldn't do the type of fishing that I was normally doing for catfish in this kayak. I was like, I'm going to have to adapt my style. I've always made my kayaks conform to me and how I want to fish versus me trying to conform to the kayak. But I was enjoying fishing out of this kayak so much, not only in the salt water, but just ultralight fishing and stuff. Like, I was having so much fun in this thing. Like, I want to make this work for catfish. So I started just playing around. I started dragging, but dragging with one rod. That way, the heavy action rod gets taken out, I could grab it real quick before it had a chance to rip rod holder out. And then I started doing the light tackle stuff. And the light tackle works with this setup because the drags are loose, you're not getting a ton of pressure on that rod holder and the gear track. And so you don't have to worry about it getting ripped out. And when I started doing that, to mainly just compensate for the kayak's limitations, I realized that I was having more fun. Not just because I'm catching fish in this kayak, which is, I mean, that's part of the fun in itself. Because the design of this thing, the way it gets spun around every which way, that is a lot of fun. That does add to the experience. But I was having fun just for the simple fact that we're using lighter gear and everything feels bigger and fights harder, and you're stripping line off the drag and the reel and stuff. Like, it was just, I was having more fun. And now it's got to a point like, this is all I want to do. Like, this is it. Like, this is the only type of catfishing I want to do right here, is the light tackle stuff. But it stems from the fact that for the first time in my kayak fishing history, I decided to change my ways to accommodate the kayak instead of making the kayak accommodate me. And boy, I'm happy I did. And I wish I'd done it years ago. But lesson learned. You know, you can't get stuck in your ways. And I'm bad about that, especially the older I get. It seems like the older I get, the more rigid I get on some things. And I try not to be rigid. Rigid people it never ends well for rigid people. You got to change. You got to change with the times, and be willing to be flexible, be willing to adapt. And I try to be consciously aware of it, but I am guilty of getting kind of rigid with things at times. Like, I find something that works, and I want to keep doing that. And even though there may be something better, or maybe I could improve in a certain way, I'm like, no, I'm going to keep doing what works. And in this situation, because I was forced to change, it ended up being a better outcome. And I'm glad I did. It is amazing, though, our inability to want to change as human beings. Like, it's like we get so adapted to what it is that we're doing that works, like we just stop. It's like we purposely plateau ourselves in a way. And I don't know if that's just laziness on my part, or just human nature, or maybe it's peer pressure even. Because, I mean, think about it. How many times in your own life have you had an opinion or a thought or something, and you've let that opinion or thought be known, like your friends, your family, they know, like, this is what you think, this is what you believe, and then fast forward X number of months, X number of years, whatever, and you change your mind. Maybe you learn something new, you learn that you were wrong, you like something else better, and you move off of your previous thoughts or opinions. Even if you thought, maybe before you thought that it was factual, you just realize you were wrong, or you like something better, or whatever the case may be. And then people, when you do that, when you change, people want to criticize you, because they're like, oh, well, in 2017, you said this, and now here we are in 2026, and now you're saying or doing this. It's like they think whatever opinion you had when you first talked to them, like, you're never allowed to change. And what a silly way to live life, man, because you get new information, new technology, new life experience, whatever the case, and like, maybe you just change your mind, or you find a better way of doing things, or you learn something new, you make some improvement. Like, this thought that you should never change, like, whatever your original opinion is, or original thought, like, it has to be that way forever. There is a peer pressure aspect to that. And I see it too. Like, I've seen it with YouTube channels, for instance, man, just kind of in the world that I'm in here, fishing and YouTubing. How many channels out there that you personally watch. Because I'm, you know, those of you right now, you're watching a fishing video on my channel. You probably watch other YouTube fishing channels as well. Probably other channels in the outdoor genre, but it could be across the board anywhere in YouTube. You'll have a channel, they're doing things a certain way, certain style of video, certain style of fishing, whatever, it works. They're getting a bunch of views, their channel's growing, it's successful. And things change. Maybe YouTube's not prioritizing that type of video anymore. Whatever it is they're doing, YouTube's not prioritizing that anymore. But the content creator has had success with that format of video. So because of that, because they had success and now they're not, they just keep doing the thing that worked. They won't change. And they just get punished. They run their channels down into the ground because YouTube, when you stop getting views, it's YouTube's way of saying, like, this ain't working no more. Like, the audience has changed. Like, YouTube wants to keep people on the platform. So whatever type of video it takes to keep people watching, that's what they want. And so if a content creator has a 6-month, a year, maybe 2-year run. Oh, all right, rod. Oh, okay. That one's a better one. I think that one's a better one right there. That was a nice takedown. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, I don't know what the hell happened with that. We're just having bad luck today, man, hooking up on fish. Y'all are. I've still, to this day, I've never lost a fish in my life. But y'all just lost another one somehow. We've had bad luck losing fish today, man. Why that is, who knows? I don't think it's the hooks, but I guess we'll see over time. I mean, if this becomes a persistent problem, but I don't know. Weird that it's happened like that today. That was a nice takedown, though. It felt like a solid fish. But getting back on what we was talking about, like, you see channels, they had some success. They stop having success, but do they change? No. They keep doing what worked because it worked once, or for 6 months, or whatever. And they end up just getting declining views, and they will not change. And it runs their channels in the ground. Meanwhile, if they would just keep doing what they're doing in a different way, they might still go on to be able to have success, be able to get views and stuff. Because, I mean, like, I ain't trying to toot my own horn here, but I mean, I've been at this over 10 years now. My channel has died numerous times over the last decade. I mean, like, died. And I've been able to resurrect it each time because I changed. I don't change my fishing. If you go back in time, 2016, go all the way back, 2016 video. Chances are I was, okay, well this one's, nope. Something's after it. That's acting like a small one though. The rod tip's just bouncing around there. Is it a small one that's, yeah, it is. He's got it. He was just sitting down there bouncing with it. He's actually going to pull a little bit now. I thought that was a really small fish. It's an odd bite. The rod tip was just, I go to pick up on it. Could it be still a small fish that we foul hooked maybe? Either way, we're just going to enjoy the fight until he pops free. Based on how we've gone today so far, far more likely he's just going to pop free. Okay, I think I don't know what's up with this thing. First, maybe I thought he was foul hooked, and it's not a very big fish. Maybe he's just wrapped up in it or something. I don't know. Oh, it's a channel cat. Oh, hell. One of you run these dang channel cats off, would you? And call the trot liner to come get these things. They can take all these damn channel cats for all I'm concerned. That's actually not a bad channel cat, though. That's a pretty good size, at least for this area anyway. It's a pretty good size one. I still don't like these things, though. I like the big ones up on Sandusky Bay. I don't really care for these smaller ones like this. Talking about you fish, how you down there stealing baits. Look at his tail. He got a mark there. Little scar. See you, buddy. Hey, gone. Okay, I'm gonna grab another shad. We'll go ahead and switch that bait out. Actually, let's try this shell cracker. It's sitting right here on top of the bag now. Let's try it. See what we can do with it. Got the one shell cracker in here. Let's just see if we can get this thing eaten. Save the head. If we get the body section eaten, maybe we'll put on the head. Well, I just threw it overboard. Hell of a job right there, folks. Why the hell? I mean, why did... I can believe it, but I can't. I'm gonna blame y'all for that one too. You should have caught it right there. I can't believe that. Just toss that damn thing overboard. Well, I don't guess we'll be trying out the shell cracker head after all today. It was a good idea. Good idea, but ain't gonna... Actually, I need to rehook that a little better too, don't I? Good idea, but ain't gonna happen. Okay. Oh, we got a wind's gonna push us up on the shore here if we ain't careful. Let's send this down and get better positioned here into the wind. Okay, now we can work on the wind here. But yeah, I was saying, like, in the last decade, my channel's died numerous times, but my fishing hasn't. Like, if you go back to early on in my channel a decade ago and look at videos, I was probably suspend fishing. Because that's what I've enjoyed most. I've done a lot of different types of catfishing, but that's what I enjoy the most. So you go back in time, you'll see videos of me suspend fishing all the way back and when I started my channel there. Got it going, 2016. But what has changed? Well, how it's presented on video has changed. In those early days, I was doing shorter videos, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That done okay for a little while, it plateaued. Then I went to 30, 45-minute videos. Got another boost up, plateaued. Then YouTube started pushing the live streams. I did that. Then it was the shorts videos when they got in competition with TikTok. I did that. Now it's been these long podcast style, unedited videos. I'm doing that. Like, my fishing's been the same. But the videos have changed to accommodate whatever the YouTube algorithm wants, whatever the audience wants. And that's the difference in your channel staying dead versus you being able to resurrect it. It's being able to adapt to whatever format of video that they are prioritizing at the present time. And it's like that with anything, man. You got to adapt in life. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your school if you're going through some educational program, some career training, whatever. Like, things that worked in 2005 may not work today in 2026. whether it be culturally or policy-wise as far as your workplace goes. Like, there's just, you got to be flexible. And the older I get, I think the older most people get, you get rigid, you get set in your ways. You certainly see it. Well, anytime I interact with old people, like older than me, Medicare age, like you see it in them specifically. Like they quit adapting a long time ago. They just are what they are now. And as long as they're happy, I guess that's okay at that point. But if you're younger and you've got a lot of life ahead of you, a big portion of your career left ahead of you, if you're going to have to, whatever educational program, I mean, pick the area of life. Like, if you're going to have to do whatever it is you're doing for a longer period of time, well, you can't just be, you'll get left behind if you don't change with the times and you don't adapt. You will literally get left behind. So you got to be willing to change, but boy, when you do, it's like people just use that against you. And I've had it used against me. Like, well, Justin, I watched a video of you 6 years ago and you said or done this. Well, I changed. I changed my mind. Carp fishing being a prime example. Right? Like, I used to talk about carp like they were trash fish. That's how I grew up culturally in this area. Carp, drum, buffalo, gar, fish like that are trash. If it's not a largemouth bass or smallmouth bass, it's trash around here. Still a lot of people that believe that. That's what I grew up hearing and believing. That was the culture. Well, guess what? A few years ago, I gave carp fishing a try, and I liked it. I had fun. I realized they're a lot of fun, like they're a very underrated fish. They fight hard, they're plentiful. I've had a hard time with them this year, but overall they're pretty easy to catch. And it's like, why did they get labeled like that? Like, what was it that caused people to just not like them or respect them? Is it because they're difficult to cut up? Maybe they're not very good eating. So the old timers that were fishing more for sustenance than fun and sport didn't like them as much. Was it the bass fishing companies? Because carp, I mean, you're not using the 80 million different bass lures that they have at Bass Pro or Walmart, so that's not profitable to the crankbait companies and spinnerbait companies. So they kind of put out the stigma on these fish. That way people would be more inclined to prefer bass fishing and therefore buy their products. Like, I don't know how it got started, that carp and drum and buffalo and all them are trash fish, but that's the culture I grew up in. And then when I started fishing for them, I was like, well, this is fun. Like, there's something to this. Like, I want to do this more. I want to get better at this. And I started doing it, but then people were like, but Justin, you talked about carp like they were trash. You were making fun of their silly hair rigs and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I was. And I changed my mind. I adapted. I grew as a person. I got new information, and therefore my opinion has changed. Like, it was never set in stone that I was going to believe a certain thing forever. It was just, that was the information I had at the time. And I was wrong. I can admit I was wrong. Point blank, I was wrong. First time in my life, probably. Not really. But, like, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to change your mind. But some people just don't want to let you do that. They want to try to punish you. And you see it all the damn time, too. Like, you'll see it across the board. When things change in society, somebody will go find an old social media post on some celebrity or athlete or politician or whatever, and they'll be like, well, back here in 2014, you made this Twitter post that you said this, and now you're saying the exact opposite. And I'm like, well, okay, folks, that was, that was a decade ago. Like, I guess I just don't hold it against people if they're doing or saying the exact opposite. And of course it's easy to attack like athletes and politicians and these public figures for things like that. But like, I mean, if it's been 5 years, 10 years, and you're saying or doing something different, I'm like, I'm not holding that against you or anybody else. Like, it's part of being an adult. We don't pop out of the womb when we're born knowing everything. We don't know anything. And even once we start to know stuff, hell, we still don't know anything. I mean, I've been fishing most of my life here, been catfishing specifically over 20 years. And every time I think I'm getting things figured out, like I maybe know a little something, I realize I don't know jack diddly poo-poo. Like I've come to realize that most of the people who talk in this matter-of-fact, authoritarian style, like they're the expert, most of them don't know half as much as they think they do. Most of the time, it's just the presentation of how they're speaking that makes it appear like they know more than they do. And it's the same way with me. Like, I could come on here and speak with confidence that this is how we're going to do things, this is why it's going to work, and then if we have success, I look like a damn genius. But at the same time, in my mind, like, I don't want to talk like that or do that, because I really don't care if people think that I'm a genius or that I know what I'm doing. I really don't care, because in my mind, I know that I don't, and that I know a few things. Like, I know where to put my baits to give myself the best chance of success, and I know if I do that for a long enough time period, either on one individual trip or over the course of a season specifically. I mean, everything averages out the longer that you do something, but I know it'll just work out in the end. And but I mean, to talk like I could go out any day of the week and bust a big fish because I know such and such, or I can do, like, it's just not realistic, folks. So, bottom line is this, I'm going to change my mind. And whatever it is I'm doing today, whatever you hear me saying today, 5 years from now, it's probably going to be different, because I'm going to have changed some more, gotten new information, gotten new life experience, and I'm probably going to have a different viewpoint at that stage of my life. If I'm still alive in 5 years, and I hope I am, but who knows? Hopefully we all are. Well, I mean, there's probably a few people out there you wouldn't mind seeing bite the bullet. Me too, if I'm being honest. I know, I've got some friends that are super religious, and so when they've got a problem with somebody or somebody they don't like or whatever, they'll pray for them. They'll pray that they can compromise or better understand or tolerate that person, and they'll pray for the other person that they'll improve their life or whatever. Me, hell no. Somebody pisses me off, I'm wishing all kinds of bad stuff on them. And then if I see bad things happen to them, publicly I may not smile, but in my mind, I'm smiling on the inside. Because I'm a terrible person, folks. And I'll be the first to admit it. I own it. It's some would call it a personality flaw, but I think the fact that I realize this about myself and I accept it, it's I have enough self-awareness to know how I am. Let's just say that. I know I'm an asshole, and I accept that. I'll tell you another thing too, by gosh, that was kind of eye-opening to me. We watched it, me and my wife, we watched a documentary the other night. I forget the name of it. I'm wanting to say it was called False Prophet. They kept referring to this guy as the false prophet in the show, but I don't know if that's what it's called. Anyway, it's a Netflix documentary about a man named Samuel Bateman. And he was essentially a cult leader. But he was out there in Utah, and it was part of this very, I don't know if they're Mormons, like a segment of Mormons. There's our right rod here, gets a little tug. Another small fish though. Leave it alone, fish. Leave it in good shape for Big Mama when we run into her, if we do. Has he still got it? It's like he's got the bait and swimming with it, but he ain't taking the rod down. I think you let it go then. Get it spun back around. This wind is playing havoc on us right now. It's whipping around this bend, and it ain't blowing hard, but it's blowing just hard enough to be a little bit of a nuisance. That was on that shell cracker piece too, wasn't it? Anyway, so Samuel Bateman, I don't know if he was like a part of a Mormon type deal or some other real conservative religion, but the women were following this other guy that was kind of they viewed as a prophet. And he went to jail, and so this guy, Samuel Bateman, took over. And these women, they wear like the long dresses, and they don't cut their hair, and everything's super conservative and whatnot. And they're polygamous, like they take on multiple wives. And so this Samuel Bateman guy was convincing people that he was the prophet, that he was there to show them the way, basically, to get into heaven, and they had to follow his commands and stuff. And so he convinced these other two fellas that he was the prophet. And this is how delusional these people were. They gave Samuel Bateman, not only gave him their wives to become Samuel Bateman's wives, but they gave him their children, like young children, to become his wives. It was perverse. And that's what it boiled down to. This guy was a child predator is what he was. He was into children. And he would make them do stuff and make other people watch. And he was a pervert. And so they filmed this documentary about him because there was a woman and her husband, and she was out there in Utah in that area, and they weren't a part of that religion, but they were there, and they, I think her husband was like a filmmaker, and they got introduced to these people, and they wanted to take this guy down because it was obvious he was a pervert, a child predator. And so they sold him on the idea of filming a documentary about his life because he had such a big ego and was just, and people like that, I often wonder, are they crazy and they truly believe they are sent here from God as a prophet? Or do they fake it to try to get that following and get what they want, and then over the course of time, they talk themselves into believing it? I don't know. But either way, this guy obviously had a huge ego, and so they were filming a documentary about his life, while what they were really doing was trying to get him to incriminate himself on video and get proof that he was doing inappropriate things and get him taken down. And that's ultimately what got him, was that damn documentary. As this fish here is something's gonna get him in a minute. We're gonna get him on a documentary. But that's what took him down, was this video evidence of him. That fish is back on it again. But this woman and her husband, she ended up being responsible for him going to jail. But the thing that impressed me about, and I hate to use the word impressed, that's a wrong word, because first off, let me just say, I don't condone anything that he was doing. I can't stand people that do stuff to kids. Like that's one of those lines in humanity that shouldn't be crossed. Like people that do stuff to kids and people that abuse dogs and cats and stuff, like those are just two things, two types of people that I would just take an ice pick to their eyeballs type people. Like I can't stand either one of those groups of people. It's just a different kind of scum of humanity. So when I say, when I'm going to talk about this guy, what I'm going to say about him next, I don't want it to be misconstrued that I'm approving of anything he does, because I don't. But what does impress me about his ability to, I mean, I guess you would call it manipulation. He's manipulated these people. But the fact that he was able to talk to people, I want to talk this fish into getting hooked up over here. I think that's a small one, but I think he might be hooked up. Now, don't you get in that other line over there, fish. Don't you do it. He's on the shell cracker. He's on that shell cracker. I wish we had that head, but you threw it overboard. I watched you do it earlier. I don't know why you threw that shell cracker head overboard. That was silly of you to do that, especially when it was the only one we had. I could get a bunch more. I just don't want to take them off the beds. And this one here, I gut hooked, and so no point in throwing him back. He was going to die anyway, so we'll just use him for bait. But, oh no, that's another danged old channel cat too. There's 2 channel cats in a row, y'all. Call the trot liner, would you? Call that damn commercial fisherman and tell him to come out here and get all these dang channel cats. We don't want them things. We don't want no channel cat, do we? Hell, even this channel cat don't want another channel cat. He did leave us the bait on. Well, I about put my finger in that hook too. Did you see that? It's coming out the lower jaw right there. I about stuck my finger right in it. Let's pop that thing free there, fish. Lord, you got double hooked. Okay. That's a small channel cat there. He can head on back down, please and thank you, sir. Leave our baits alone. I think I will drop this shell cracker back down, though, I think, since it's our only one. I think I'll... It looks pretty rough, though, don't it? It's still got some of the innards in there. We got to rehook it at least. We'll send it down for a little while. Just a little while. See if we get something else on it, since it's our only one. But with it being kind of bled out there, I don't want to leave it down too long if we're not getting bit. And I think while we're doing this, I'm going to reel up our head and put that other one I've got laying out here on the kayak on. It's been a while we've had this head down. Actually, we've been sitting down there with a bare hook. One of y'all let them steal that other head off there, and you didn't check the line. We've been down there with a bare hook. Hell, ain't no wonder we ain't catching nothing on that rod. Hard to catch them without a bait. This ought to improve our chances right here. Dadgummit. Been sitting down there with a bare. I wonder how long we've been like that. So anyway, back to the story. The thing that I found most impressive about this guy was he was able, and again, I don't mean impressive that I'm condoning his actions in any way. I'm just talking about specifically his ability to lead these people. But he found two guys that were, I mean, they're obviously not very smart, but they were functioning in society. They had jobs. They were providing for their families. They had done well enough in life to attract a woman and start a family, and they're productive citizens in society. And this Samuel Bateman guy was able to convince them that he was sent by God to lead them, and that they should follow his every command, to the point that these people, these other men, went to their wives and said, you're going to go sleep with this other man. You're going to have babies with this other man. You are going to send our children to live with this other man. Underage, small children. Like, how the hell was he able? What kind of sales pitch was he putting on these people to convince them of this? And even the men, like, okay, you say, okay, well, these guys are just dumb. They're beta males. They need an alpha. This guy's willing to be their alpha. But don't the women then step in and be like, no, you're not taking my 10-year-old child and sending to live with that man. I couldn't believe that these people, but I mean, this was a true story. Like, this was a documentary. They got real footage. Like, this is real life stuff. But he convinced these dumbasses that he was their prophet. And so I was just like, man, if you could do that on a bigger scale. And I guess that's how probably people like Hitler came to power back in the day. Like, he found something that he could sell people, and it just starts to snowball. You get a few people believing in you and believing what you're selling and whatnot, and then more people who respect the other people who's following you, and it just snowballs. And these people, they always get taken down in the end. It happened with Hitler. It happened with this guy. He's in the pokey for the rest of his life now. Hopefully having what should happen to people like that in jail happen to him. But it's just amazing to me that he was able to pull it off for as long as he did. And maybe it had something to do with just how those people were raised up in that kind of strict religious lifestyle. I mean, they've got the super conservative, long dresses, long hair. They don't cut their hair, type thing. Like, it's just, I guess when you grow up in that, it's a different lifestyle, different culture, if that's all you've known. But I just can't imagine any rational, sane person being like, yeah, I'm going to send my kid to go live with this man who's claiming to be a prophet sent by God to save us all. Like, I mean, you got to admit, it's a little odd, but these people went for it hook, line, and sinker, and they were upset. Some of them was really tore up that he went to jail. So the only other thing I could think of, because we had watched that documentary, and then Monday Night Raw wrestling came to Knoxville. And me and my wife, we went up there and watched the show. We've been, the last couple years, whenever wrestling Monday Night Raw, whenever it went to Netflix, I started watching again. I'm like, okay, this is pretty good again, because I'd quit watching wrestling. I'd kind of follow along from a distance with it to see what was happening and stuff, but I wasn't watching it anymore because it was unwatchable for about a decade. Watched it as a kid up through my teenage, early 20s, and then it just got unwatchable. Well, now I've been watching it again. And so Monday Night Raw come to Knoxville, and me and my wife went, and you see it a little bit in the wrestling world of like when Roman Reigns comes out and his music hits and he walks out, everybody's pointing the finger in the sky for him. And then he gets in the ring and he's like, Knoxville, Tennessee, acknowledge me. And everybody sticks their finger up in the air and stuff. And you look around at some of these guys in the stands and, you know, and look, it's fun. It's part of the fun of the show and being there live to engage, right? You're going to put your finger up there and Roman Reigns going to. But you can just look around and see some other people in the crowd, and they're like, you can just see in their behavior and their actions, like, no, Roman Reigns really is their tribal chief. Like, if they had access to him, if they were all living in a community with him or in a house with him, like, he would be their tribal chief for real. Like, they would do his bidding. Whatever he wanted, they would do it. They would follow him to the end of the earth. And so if he was batshit crazy, like Samuel Bateman, these people would probably go right along with it. Like the sheep need their shepherd, and if the shepherd leads them off a cliff or to drink the poison Kool-Aid, then that's what they're going to do. And I'm like, I can't even get my dog to listen to me. How is this guy getting people to hand over their wives to him? Like, that's the part that impress. And again, I don't mean impressive. I don't find his actions and what he done impressive as far as, you know what, I think if you're a rational, sane person, you know what I'm trying to say here. But it was pretty damn impressive, his ability to get people, just to find these people and get them to do such irrational things. Like, I don't understand how it's possible. I don't know a single person, even those of you out there that maybe like me more than you should. You watch every video, you buy hats and rods and stuff like that, you know, you maybe like me more than you should. But if I went to you and been like, you know what, I want you to hand over your wife to me, you would say, I mean, I would hope you would say, first off, I would never ask you to do that, but I would hope you would say no. Like, who the hell would hand over their wife? But this guy done it. He asked these other men to hand over their wives and their children, and they did. And that level of salesmanship that he had to have put on, I'm impressed with that. I'm impressed with his ability to find these gullible, stupid people. Like, I mean, it was a fascinating, I think there was 4 episodes, 4 or 5. I highly recommend watching it. It was Netflix. Netflix does a pretty good documentary. But fascinating story. I think you'll have to look it up. Look up that guy, just put in his name, Samuel Bateman, Netflix documentary. You'll be able to find it. I think it was called False Prophet, though. I could be wrong on that, but fascinating watch. I recommend it, and he'll be in jail the rest of his life where he belongs, but people like that shouldn't be out and about. And the people that gave him, the guys that gave him their wives and kids, they went to jail too, thankfully. Because they're so damn, even if they were manipulated, they were still so damn stupid. Like, they don't need to be raising kids, okay? Like, And I'm not sitting here talking like I know anything about parenting. I certainly don't. I don't have any kids. Probably ain't never going to have no kids. And so I'm not no parental expert by any stretch. But you know it as well as I do. Like, you can walk through a grocery store and see some people that probably shouldn't have kids, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some people out there in this planet, like, everybody has the ability to breed and make babies, but not everybody should be raising babies. And these fellas in this documentary, they didn't need to be having access to their kids or anybody else's, so they got locked up in the pokey too. But man, I tell you, I was just blown away. I told my wife, I was like, look, since this is common practice for men to have multiple wives, I'm going to need you to take on a sister wife for me. It's like, honey, I've been telling you to bring home another woman forever. Like, this is perfectly acceptable. Like, this is, maybe we need to move to Utah or at least go vacation there or something. But, like, this is the thing. Like, people do this. She didn't go for it. She ain't going to wear them long dresses and grow her hair out either. I don't understand that. That's one of those things, like, I don't get. Like, what's the purpose of the super long dresses and never cutting your hair? Like, my neighbors are like that. Sanford and Son, some of you've heard me talk about them, and my channel members have heard me talk about them a lot, because I do a lot of channel members videos from my house. And so I live beside these people, and they're real trashy, and I call them Sanford and Son, but it's a man and his, boy, that's a nice slow, okay, let it go. I wasn't sure if that was a big fish just slowly swimming off or a small fish that was going as hard as he could and couldn't. He's back on it, whatever he is. Let it go again. Probably another channel cat. Anyhow, while we're getting interrupted by these fish here, Sanford and Son, beside me, it's a man and his wife. They're older, and they are part of one of those religious, conservative religion. I can't ever remember what the hell they're called. It's not apostolic. I want to call them apostolics, but it's not. Apostolics. That's not it either. Apostatics. Anyway, they're, like, his wife, she wears the dresses down to her ankles. Her hair's never been cut. And I don't get it. I'm like this fish over here keeps messing with it. I don't get why he won't leave it alone. But I'm like, every time Sanford and Son's wife sits down on the crapper, I guarantee you she's getting crap in her hair. Like, what would you do with your hair when it's all the way down past your butthole? Like, cut that hair. Like, cut it. I mean, every time, the average person, it's been statistics, they've done studies on this. The average person farts 26 times a day. And if this woman's hair is hanging down to her butthole, past her butthole, she's farting into her hair at least 26 times a day. You know how bad her hair must stink? And then when she sits down to pee or take a crap, she's probably sitting on her hair. And you know good and well, like, hair gets sucked up into your butthole. If any of you fellas out there, you living with a woman, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, and she's got long hair, like, at least once a week, I'll be washing myself in the shower and feel something, and I'll start pulling, and I'll have one of my wife's hairs, long hair. My wife, like, she's got like shoulder length hair right now. It's been longer at times, but like, I'll pull one of her hairs out of my butthole. It just got sucked up in there somehow. That happens at least once a week. Now you take these super conservative religious people, and their hair is 4 foot long. Can you imagine that? Hell, you'd start pulling that hair out your butthole and you'd feel a tickle in your throat, because that's how far up it would be inside you with hair that long. I just don't understand it. And I really don't understand my neighbors because, I mean, these super conservative people, I've always heard cleanliness is godliness, but their property's complete trash over there. They are the trashiest people, and it don't make no damn sense to me. But they're part of that apostolic culture. It ain't apostolic. I don't know why I struggle with that word so much. I have the hardest damn time with that particular word. Whatever it is, that's what they are. And he had told me that whenever he first moved in years ago, before I had my fence up, he was out there one day, and I had the displeasure of talking to him, and I didn't like him back then, and I like him even less now. I hate those people. Absolutely hate them. I hate living beside them. I hate them individually, both the man and the woman. Yeah. And they come, and this is one of those things that, and on one hand, it's like, I'll tell you what, here's what happened. They had a package get delivered to my house by mistake. So I'm leaving, I go out, and this package is on my porch steps to them. And so I was like, well, I'll deal with that when I get back. So I leave. And I was going to toss it over the fence there to them when I got back home. Well, I come back and that package is gone. Well, they come and got it. They come and took their package off my porch. Now, on one hand, it's like, well, that's their package. The delivery person brought it to my house instead of theirs. That's their property. But they came on my property and took it off my porch. And it's like, boy, you don't do that in this day and time. Like, you don't go on somebody else's property and take something. Even though it was theirs, and that's why I'm not like getting super pissed off about it. It was their property. But let's just say, I hadn't walked out that day and saw that was their package, and then got in my car and left, go do what I was going to do. Let's just say delivery driver drops off a package on my porch, and maybe I'm gone when it happens. And then my security camera picks up them going over there to get that package off my porch. Well, what am I going to assume? I'm not going to know that was their package. I'm going to think it was something delivered to me or my wife, and they're stealing from me. That's what I'm going to think. And you all know, man, you all have heard me tell stories of what I think about thieves. Like, I hate a thief, whether it's physical property or my digital property with these videos and social media stuff. Like, I can't stand a thief. I hate a thief. So them coming over there and taking stuff off my porch, it's like, hell no, you best watch yourself. That'll get you. It's going to get you this fish stuck right here is what it's going to get. I hope this one stays buttoned up. And I hope it ain't another danged old channel cat. He ain't going to be all that big, though. It's going to be another dink. We've caught more dinks today than I have caught in the last several trips combined. But we ain't got our big fish today. Oh, we ain't going to need a net on this one. He's barely flesh hooked. We're going to pop this hook right here, folks. We're going to do a quick release on this one. I'm not even going to have to lay hands on him, I don't think. Yeah, go ahead, fish. Pop that hook free on your own. Come over here. Let me get hold of that thing. Gotta be careful with this line, but I mean, he is barely flesh hooked. Oh no, he did break the line. Well, crap far. I didn't want that to happen. I was going to grab that hook and pop it because it was flesh hooked. We ended up getting our line. That's probably had some abrasion right in there at that point because I had not replaced these leaders like I should have yesterday. Let's get a I've got some more. I've got my regular ones tied up here, and then I've got these. I put prototype on there because it was the hooks that Catfish Sumo had sent me. I had like 5 of them, so we had them 2 on. We're down to 4 now. Here, one of y'all, the wind's gonna blow that baggie out if y'all don't hold on to it. Let's go ahead and switch this leader out. We'll put that swivel in the bag here. We don't lose it. I like to have my leaders pre-tied. That way we can, oh, there goes that fish. There goes that fish. Oh, he dropped it too. Let's get this one retied real fast. That was our shell cracker over there that was taken off. Bear with me, I gotta blow out this sinker. I pulled my line out the sinker when I was trying to put the rod back in the rod holder to grab the other fish. There we go. But you see here, let me show you this right fast before I thread it back through. You see that green liner in there in the sinker? That's what protects your line from the lead on the sinker rubbing it and abrading it there on your main line. That's one of the things I really like about the Catfish Sumo sinkers, and now that we're using this lighter gear, lighter tackle, it's really, really helpful. I'm surprised more sinker companies, the individuals pouring sinkers in their basement, you know, they can't do that. But like the companies that make sinkers, I'm surprised more of them don't do it, because that's a really, really helpful feature. Keeps you from having to use a bead to protect your knot, keeps your line good and protected up there. Like it's really helpful. Okay, let's put our hooks back. Let's get us some more baits here. I'm gonna cut us up another shad. We'll just put a new head on that one, and I'm gonna switch out that shell cracker over there too. Find a decent sized shad. There we go. Yeah, we'll just put on 2 fresh baits here, folks. That's what we're gonna do. Should have already switched out that shell cracker probably. I just wanted to give it time to soak a little bit since that was the only one we had. Okay. Down this one goes. Yeah, I gotta pull us out a little bit here. The wind's pushing us up toward the bank. Let's get back out just a little bit off this drop. About 20 feet right here. There's a creek right down here. We finally run into a creek. It's down here on our right. I'm hoping there'll be something around this thing. Okay, let's get this. But yeah, to finish up, like I just don't think you ought to be going on somebody's porch and taking anything, even if it belongs to you, because they may not know that it belongs to you, and they're going to think you're stealing from them. And if they feel about thieves the way I feel about thieves, you're liable to get some buckshot in your hind end as you walk off with that package, even if it belongs to you. So, I don't know. I thought it was pretty dumb for them to come do that, but I didn't press it because it was their package, and I knew it was their package. I just was going to wait till I got back home from what I was doing to deal with it. I gotta get me a swig of water here, folks. I'm parched. I try not to drink much on these videos, so I don't want to slurp in your ear, but I gotta get me a swig there. I got a problem with the Postal Service right now, too. In fact, I probably need to go deal with that today before I go home. I had a package delivered yesterday, allegedly. It was some more epoxy for the bottom of this kayak. So I fixed this kayak about a while back. I had the hole had gotten thin in some places on the back, and I had some punctures. 3 holes, actually. And I fixed them, put some epoxy over it, and put some fiberglass patches, and the repair has done great. It's been perfect. No issues since then. But I ordered some more epoxy and some more of those patches because I was going to preemptively do some areas that got a little abrasion. It's not bad, but you can see it's areas that's going to have problems if I don't act. And unlike our wildlife agencies, I want to be proactive on stuff if possible. So I ordered some more epoxy, and it was coming from California, so I've waited a while. I mean, it's took a full week to get here since the other side of the country. And I get the notification through my email yesterday that it's been delivered. Well, great. Well, me and my wife, we went and got our toes done last night. It was that time of the month. And we went to Asian Spa and got our pedicures, and we got back, and I said, well, honey, stop down here at the end of the driveway before you pull up, and we'll get the mail. Well, I go get the mail. Well, guess what ain't in there? My package. That epoxy, it ain't there. So I pull up the email there, and I pull up the tracking information, and it says delivered to P.O. Box. And it gives the zip code. And I'm like, well, I have a P.O. box. First off, I have a P.O. box. So I'm like, well, crap, did I accidentally misclick when I ordered it and like send it to my P.O. box instead of my home address? So I got on there and looked. I'm like, no, that was going to my home address. They didn't even have my P.O. box information. I'm like, surely, how the hell did they get it to my P.O. box? And normally mail gets delivered to my P.O. box early in the day, like 9:30, 10 o'clock. They've got all the mail at the post office put out in the boxes. And this had supposedly got delivered at like 6 o'clock in the evening. Oh, there goes our shad piece. Well, we got another one on here. I hope it ain't, it's a small one. I hope it ain't no dang channel cat. It's small though, and we're right here above this creek. Right there where that's a blue. He's a tiny one though. Tiny old blue cat. We have had so many dinks today, man. This has been we've legitimately had more dinks today than all the dinks combined on the last few trips. Like, it's been pretty crazy that we've got this many. I should probably use the net on this. If he thrashes or rolls, we're liable to pop this leader line too. At least I wish he hadn't have got hooked up with it, but at least he was smart enough to get the bait and the hook. Or dumb enough to get the bait and the hook. Oh, there goes that one. There goes that one, folks. Oh, crap. Let's get rid of this one real fast. That one's yanking line. We got to get this one going. There we go. Get you out of here, fish. Get him going. Get this out of the way now. Get this out of the way. Is he still on there? Hell no, of course he ain't. Theme of the day, folks. Stealing our... Oh, he broke us off. How the hell did that one break off? That was a fresh leader. He snapped it, though. Well, hell far. Boy, we're in bad shape. We're in bad shape, folks. He was pulling. I mean, it wasn't like my drag stuck. Golly boom, man. Well, hell far. Let's grab another shad. We'll rebait this one on the right, and then tie another leader on. I can't believe it. I don't know how that one broke. We've had bad luck today. as far as like the hookups and losing fish, breaking off, like that's some bad luck. Thankfully, we're getting some fish though. That's the thing, man. You do these unedited, uncut videos, man, like whatever happens, happens. You see it, good or bad. If I miss 87 fish in a day, then you see all 87 of them get missed. If I have a day where I catch some big fish, well, you see that too. I look like a hero or something. Look like I actually know what I'm doing. Today ain't one of them days, though. We're getting some bites down through here. I really thought today would be limited bites and good quality, and we've had the opposite. We've had more bites than I anticipated and poor quality. Let's get our leader bag back out here. Daggone, I can't believe that. Broke us off. Right there, middle to bottom of that leader. All right, well, it is what it is. We got to move forward here, folks. We ain't got time to dwell. Got fish to catch. Go ahead and get this one tied on. We'll put that head we just cut on. Back on the move. At least, I mean, you know, and we've got fish. We didn't get fish really first thing this morning at first light, but we've gotten bit all the way down through here fairly consistently, I feel like, even as we've gotten later in the morning. Every day's its own puzzle, buddy. Every single day is its own adventure. You just got to solve the puzzle each and every day. Drop this down. I'm going to swing us out a little bit. The wind keeps wanting to push us up on the shore. Here, let me put my swivel back up. Stick that back there in that bag. Reuse that thing. Okay. Put that back in my camera bag there, my purse, if you will. That's what I call it. All right, we reset again. Anyhow, I was telling the story. So, tracking number says it got delivered to P.O. Box. I look, and no, it was supposed to come to my house. And the P.O. Box that it's allegedly been delivered to is a completely different zip code than my home address. And so this thing, obviously, the package got scanned for it to say it was delivered. You would think the Postal Service, being in 2026, that it would alert them like you're at the wrong place, like the zip codes don't match, like there should be some error message pop up, right? Apparently not, because it's been delivered somewhere, but it ain't been delivered to my house like it's supposed to. And it's easy. It should be easy to prove that it wasn't delivered to my house because it's been scanned in a different zip code. But I got to go sort that out. It's not a lot. I mean, it was that epoxy, so it was like $30. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it's the principle of it. It's still money, and I need it. That's the thing. Is like I need that epoxy because I was going to coat some other areas here on the kayak, and I was going to put those other patches, those fiberglass patches on. So I need it, and that epoxy is coming from California. So I mean, if I have to reorder it, one, I'm going to be out the money, which I shouldn't be out because it's the Postal Service that screwed up. And two, I'm going to have to wait another week to get it. Plus, I'm going to waste my time probably going down to the post office to inquire about it. And of course, they're going to pass I already know. I don't even want to go down there, honestly, because I already know what they're going to do. They're going to pass the buck. They're going to tell you well, you're going to have to call this number, and there'll be some 1-800 number, and you'll never get in touch with an actual human being. It'll be voice prompts, and then you'll leave a message or get some AI crap, until you just get so pissed off running in circles that you give up on it, which is what they want. That's what they want to do. And my postal service, it was bad for a while, but it's been better over the last, I don't know, 6 months to a year time frame. It's been a lot better as far as delivering in a timely manner and delivering to my house. We went through a stretch for a while where packages were just ending up. I had another house across town that had the same house number as me, or road number, whatever, you know, whatever them first numbers are in front of your street address. We had completely different roads. Nothing was similar on our roads, but the house number was the same. And so they would get my mail periodically. And it was an honest woman that lived there, because she's brought me, I think 3 packages now that were delivered to her house, but it hasn't happened in quite a while. But that was going on for a while. And then this abandoned house down the street was getting some of my mail for a while. But that hasn't been a problem for a while now, but it was yesterday. That epoxy's in some P.O. box apparently, and it ain't mine. Because I ended up, so again, I do have a P.O. box. And so I told the wife, we got back last night, I'm like, it was supposed to be delivered to the house, but it said P.O. box. I'm like, did they go put it in the P.O. box? Let me just go check. So I drove over to the post office, and sure enough, it wasn't there. Electric bill was in there. I didn't want to see that, but yeah, so I'm going to have to go to the post office. I guess I'll stop there on the way home and just inquire, but I already know. They're going to give me some 1-800 number, which is total bullshit, because let's be honest, they can pull up. I mean, they know where their damn postal workers are. Them vehicles, if they're not, they should be GPS tracked. So you should be able to just say, okay, this was delivered at 6:01 p.m., whatever the hell the time was. Where was the delivery person at? What was their physical location at that time? And then be able to go to that residence or P.O. box, whatever, and get my package out of there. That's what you should be able to do. But they won't. They'll give me a 1-800 number, and you'll never get in touch with anybody, and then you're just out of luck. And thankfully, it's a cheap, well, $30 for a small tube of epoxy ain't cheap, but I mean, thankfully it was a $30 package and not a much more expensive package that was coming. But I mean, there's no recourse other than just the postal service, because I mean, and I had ordered it from a person off of eBay. I actually think it's the company, that Solar company. I think or Solar Ease, whatever it's called. I think they're in California, and their epoxy is cheaper on eBay than it is at other retailers. Like, that was the cheapest place I found it. But like, it's not their fault. They shipped it out to the correct address. They done their part. Like, I'm not going to file a claim with eBay or them saying I didn't get the package, but even though I didn't get the package, it's not their fault. Like, they shouldn't be punished for that. They shouldn't have to eat the cost of sending me another tube of that. It should be the Postal Service. But there's just no recourse with the Postal Service. And I would like to know, and this kind of thing's probably not public knowledge. Like, I'm sure internally they know the number, but they're never going to share that publicly. But I would like to know, like, what is the percentage of packages and mail lost or delivered to the wrong address? I mean, it's not zero. I mean, I can tell you from just firsthand experience how many packages through the years I've had end up at the wrong person's house. So what is that number? Is it 1%, 5%? Like, what percentage of packages that go through the Postal Service delivery system, what percentage of those end up at the wrong location? I would like to know. That would be curious to know. And that's one of those things, being a I gotta get us spun into the wind here. That's one of those things with the Postal Service being a government agency. It should be posted somewhere publicly. Like the Postal Service, they're not a privately run business. Like that should be public information, and maybe it is. I wouldn't think they would share that kind of stuff, but I wish they would, and I would just be curious to know. Because based on the number of packages that I've had misdelivered or delivered the wrong address, you know what I mean? Just through the years, like I have to believe nationwide it's a problem. And your more expensive packages, like if you send something, I think priority mail, I think it automatically comes with like $50 or $100 insurance on it. But this, just through eBay, you know, cheap package, basically just USPS ground with a tracking number, like there ain't gonna be anything I can do on that. And it ain't, again, it's not the amount of money, it's $30. For me, it's the principle of it. Like, yes, it's only $30, but it's $30. It's not nothing. And it's the time. Like, I waited a week to get this stuff, and now I need it now, but I can't get it for at least another week if I have to order more. It's just, it pisses me off, man. At least with when you get something by Amazon or FedEx or UPS, you get that confirmation picture. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's been delivered in the right place. I had a FedEx package a few months ago. They took a picture showing it had been delivered, but it wasn't my porch. Like it was a different porch it had been delivered on. But at least with those services, if you do have to dispute something, you have some better ammunition, some better proof, because the delivery driver took a picture of the wrong house or the wrong doorstep or whatever. Like, at least you can document, you can take pictures or video or whatever for the shipping company, be like, look, this ain't my house that they took a picture at. But with the Postal Service, they're just scanning it when they're putting it in your box or dropping it off at your door, and it's your word versus theirs. Now in this situation, maybe I got a little bit more leverage because it says it was delivered to a P.O. box and it was supposed to come to my home address. And it says it was delivered in a different zip code than what I live in. But the best case scenario, the best thing that I could hope for would be that somebody whoever got it would be honest and put it back, either take it to the post office or stick it back in their mailbox and be like, wrong address. But who does that in 2026? Nobody. But hopefully that'll happen. But even still, it's going to be days before it gets to me again, even if they are honest. And I can't sit around waiting and hope that somebody's going to be honest. This fish, we can't sit around waiting on him either, because he's got that rod taken down right here in front of this creek. This right here feels like he might be a smidge better than the ones we've been getting too. He feels like he might have a little bit more weight to him. We're right here above this creek. It's a small creek, but it's one of the few creeks in this area on this stretch of river, so I was hoping there might be something in or around it. I would assume these catfish, some of them would probably go up in here to spawn. This feels like a better fish right here, folks. This feels like a better one. I am here for it too. We have been getting dinked this morning. A couple fun sizers, but for the most part, just channel catted and dinked. And we finally got us one here that's Got some weight to it. He's staying down too. This is going to be a good one. Get comfortable here, folks. This may be a couple minutes. Yeah, but look at that. He's got that dang rod. He's got it doubled over, don't he? Hopefully he'll spin us around toward this other creek over here, the other way, so you can see what this creek looks like. But here, let me just take a camera because we're going to drift by it until we're done. You can see though, that's a small creek, just small opening there, but it's a shallow water area for fish to get up into, and I'm sure some fish are going to be spawning up in there. And I was hoping we might have something out here in front of this creek, and sure enough, this fish was just sitting right here at it. He's pulled us out here a little bit toward the middle of the river though, so I'd like to be, we get done with him, we'll run right back up above this creek and come through it again. We're gonna be a few minutes with this one though. He's staying down. Well, I say that, and here he comes up. Yeah, he's turned. He's coming up now. He was acting like he wanted to stay down. It's definitely a blue. He's rolling. Felt like some pretty good sized rolls too there. There comes the bubbles. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's the biggest one of the morning. Easily the biggest one of the morning. Come back around here, fish. Oh, yeah. That's a good one, buddy. I knew when I picked up on him, I'm like, yeah, this one's got some weight to him. Sometimes it's hard to tell how big a fish is with the lighter gear, but I knew he at least had some size to him. On the shad head right there. Yeah. Old gizzard getting it done for us, folks. So we were due. We were due for a good fish today. We've been dinked to death. We have lost a bunch of fish. He's going all the way back down, ain't he? Let me try to turn him and get him back up. But we've lost a handful of fish today. Fish that we probably didn't want to catch anyway. But I feel like the universe owed us this one. By gosh, we got it. Right here in front of this creek. This would be one to be interesting to, I've never anchor fished in front of this creek. It'd be one to do that on maybe. Might be a interesting session to put in some serious time right in front of it, try to get fish working in and out of it. All right, we get him back up here. I want y'all to net him for me. Don't mess around with it. Well, he ain't ready yet. Okay, now let's get him over here. Oh crap, he got in the other line somehow. When he done that, boy, that thing's got a big old head on him too. Get over here, fish. Get in there. There he is. We got him. Oh, buddy, that's a nice one. That's a good one. That's the kind of fish we're hoping to catch today. There's our whopper, buddy. There's our whopper right there. We got him. Yes. Oh, buddy, look at that. You nasty fish, quit burping. Oh, buddy. What is that? Did he eat both baits? No, he's just got that line wrapped around the hook. Need to get this net out of the way here. Grab your pliers here, folks. Here, let me set y'all up here. I can't see over that camera to get down there to see where the hook's at. Boy, that's a Boy, this thing's got an ugly face right here too. Face only his mama could love. Where's that dang hook at? There we go. Okay. Well, let's get this one unwrapped. I don't know how he got in that other line. He must have got in it late. But thankfully, we're done unwrapped from that. He just got to get him unwrapped now. And figure out where this line is going around at. Goodness. Which way did you get it, fish? Is it around your fin? There it is. Okay, now. Finally, now. Boy, his mouth is rough, too. He's going to tear my hand up if he clamps down. Okay. There it is. Yes, y'all. We got him. It took all daggone morning, but we got him. We got us a whopper, man. The belly on that thing. Yes. All right, fish. There he goes. Head first into the pool. Yes, y'all. Yes. That's the one we wanted. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're literally right here in front of this creek right now. Let's just switch out this bait. I need to reel up the other one, make sure he didn't knock it off. The wind and the current has got us basically just sitting here right now in front of this creek. I was gonna run back up. I think now we'll just sit here a second. Let me get us another shad here, but I think maybe we just sit here, give it a minute, and just put in a little time. I didn't bring my anchor or nothing to drop down, but you know, it's been weird. Like yesterday, and maybe there just wasn't much fish on the other side of the channel over there, but I didn't do any good. And then we get on the move and I start catching fish, and it's like, well, they were probably looking for a moving bait yesterday maybe, but either way, we'll sit here for a little while. We got to go a pretty long ways down river to get to the next creek, and I ain't gonna fish that much longer, so probably wouldn't even be able to make it down there. But we can sit here, certainly. Now let's just check this bait here, make sure, take a look at it and make sure it didn't get knocked off. Oh, it actually still looks good and everything, so we'll send that one right back down. 21 feet right here. The wind's kind of pushing us toward that creek, so I'm gonna spin us around. Yeah, we got him, by gosh. It took us a while this morning, but we got our big one. One big one so far anyway. Most of you won't see it though, because that fish waited too long to bite. If he wanted to be famous, he needed to have bit 2 hours ago. That's awesome, man. That's what I was hoping. I knew I could tell he felt a little bigger. Yes. We've had a different day today than what I've had on recent trips. We've got way more bites today, although you've missed most of them. But we've got way more bites than what I've been getting on recent trips, but the quality hadn't been here before that one. And I have to believe that he's probably just hanging out in front of this creek, and he's probably been working in and out of it to feed. I'd say a lot of them probably go in there to feed with the number of creeks on this stretch of the river being so limited. I would about bet you could catch fish in front of all of them, although we couldn't prove that yesterday over there on the other side of the other. But this one here is kind of on the outside of this bend, so I would expect more fish to be over here on this part of the ledge anyway. But that's awesome, man. I'm happy. That makes my day. I'm going home happy now for sure. I was going to go home happy anyway because we've caught some fish and had a good time out here today, but that pleases me. I need to see, we've used quite a bit of bait today. Let me just pull out my bag here, see what all we got left. I've got enough to fish with tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 shad left in there. That's at least 14 baits. I've got enough to fish with. We'll see what the weather's going to do in tomorrow and see how I feel in the morning. I've got to film that bicycle segment at some point soon. But we're still getting some big fish. I mean, that one there, you got to take advantage of this bite while you can, folks. We'll see how it goes in the morning. See what I'm in the mood for. One of the nice things though about only fishing with 2 rods, you don't need much bait. Now, I never used as much bait as most catfishermen anyway, because even when I fished with more rods, I was usually fishing with 4. With this kayak here, I can only do 2. But I don't use nearly, I mean, a fraction of the bait as somebody, say, that's got like, you get somebody in a boat that's fishing 8 rods or 10 rods, man, they need, well, 4 to 5 times as much bait as me. And so that just takes more time to go catch it. And you need bigger coolers and more ice and yada, yada, yada. And I've got my bigger Yeti cooler, well, not my biggest, some of my channel members, the Lloyds, they bought me a Yeti cooler a few years ago. It was 2 years ago now. An orange one, a big one. I wanted a big one for my Hobie Pro Angler so I could carry more bait when I would go on tournament trips and stuff. And I can't fit it on this kayak. I really can't even fit this one on here very well. This is the 35 size. I can't really fit it on here very well. The lid barely opens here behind my seat. It's bigger than I need. But my smaller coolers, when it's hot like it is, it's supposed to be near 90 degrees today, this afternoon, the smaller, cheaper coolers just don't maintain ice. Whereas the Yeti, it'll keep ice a few days. So I've got it, and so I'm like, I'm going to use it. We'll just make it work on here. I looked at maybe getting a smaller Yeti, that Rody 15 size would be perfect for the kayak, but I watched some videos of the ice retention tests that people do. I guess if you're in that genre on YouTube, then those are good videos to do, ice retention tests. They've got them for just about every type of cooler. But the videos I watched of that Yeti Rody 15, they didn't do very good at all as far as keeping ice from melting. Seemed like most people in normal conditions would get about a day and a half or so, and I'm like, that ain't worth a $200 price tag on a damn cooler. Hell, honestly, it ain't worth $200 for these other Yeti coolers, but $400 and $500 in some cases, depending on the size. But they do at least keep ice a little longer on the bigger, better built models. And you figure on the ice, man, there's a little ice machine. It's out in a parking lot a couple miles from my house, and so that's normally where I get ice at, and it's $3.10 a bag for ice, for a 16-pound bag. You can get a 16-pound bag, or if you got your cooler there, you can get 20 pounds in bulk, and you just pull the lever and it dumps out into your cooler, but it's $3.10. Well, you think, man, if one of these fancy high-dollar coolers, if one of them saves you another fish tugging there. If it saves you 2 bags of ice a week, let's say, that's $6 a week. This fish, he can't do math over here. He's getting confused, kept him from getting the hook. But if you save $6 a week, and of course the ice will keep more in the winter months. He was over on that rod messing with it. Ice will keep more in the winter months, but let's just say on average, you save $6 a week. Well, it don't take long to pay for one of these fancy coolers. I mean, $6 a week times 50 weeks a year, that's $300. So the cooler pays for itself, assuming the cooler works as advertised. And that Yeti Rody 15, I guess maybe it's the size of it or the construction of it, it just don't hold ice as long. And it's not very, like the outside is big, but the thing about these like Yetis, man, the space it takes up is huge, but the inside, the actual part where you put the ice is never very big compared to the size of the cooler. But if it works as advertised, then you will pay for the cooler in a year or so. So if you're somebody, if you're catfishing all the time like me, I mean, I'm doing it about every week at least, it over the course of time, it will pay for itself. This Yeti I've got back here, it's paid for itself over as long as I've had it for years. But that smaller one, I looked at it, I watched the videos, I done the due diligence. I was going to consider it reluctantly. I didn't want to pay $200 for it, but after watching the videos, I'm like, I'm going to pass. And my Engel cooler, the one that I use as a live bait tank, it's technically a cooler too, but man, that thing don't hold ice at all. Like you put a bag of ice in there today, it's about melted by tomorrow. Boy, we've got dinks back on us again, man. We had that one big fish sitting here in front of this creek, or right above it, and now it's just, we're getting chewed up with dinks. There's another one on this rod. There's chewing up in baits, buddy. Almost think we should kind of get back on the move. Right now, the current and the wind is almost keeping us, almost keeping us steady. Has he got it this time? Nope. I'm telling you, man, just dinks. Make sure he didn't get our bait. No, still good. Got the innards in it and everything. Back down it goes. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we're getting dinked here. Let's just move on. I ain't going to go down much further. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thankfully, with the clouds and the wind, it ain't miserable hot. Like, it's comfortable right now. I thought about busting out the flip-flops today, but I wore the boots. I should have really wore the flip-flops after I got my toes done last night. The perverts would be all over it. I'd get some extra views. My big toe, you'll see it next time I wear flip-flops. I think I'm gonna lose my toenail. Where I dropped my desk on it back there, and it's all the way back in February I dropped that desk. I think that toenail's still gonna come off. I think my new nail is coming up under it. I think it's going, it looks terrible. It don't hurt at all anymore, but it looks terrible. I feel like it looks worse every day. But it don't hurt. It hurt for a while. I think I might have broke it. Because I couldn't put any pressure on the tip of my toe for a while. A few weeks, but it's better now. I'm healed, just other than the looks of it, cosmetically. And then I have to, the last 2 times we've got our toes done, and since I injured my toe, me and my wife's only got pedicures twice. Now we do enjoy our spa day, her and I. We both like going to the Asian spa and having them work on our toes. As this fish over here, he's after it again, chewing up that bait. We've gotten dinked all the way down through here today. He may have it though. Yeah, this one, hopefully he'll pop free like all his friends. It's gonna be a tiny fish. Well, he wants to pull a little bit now, don't he? He ain't very big though. But at least when you're using the lighter gear like this fish is more fun now. That's another danged old channel cat too. Boy, ain't that something. We got tiny channel cats and a huge blue all in the same spot. Channel cat, you better watch yourself down there. You liable to get eaten by one of them big blues. Or a big flathead. Give me a hook. You danged old channel cat. You know what, channel cat? I think you're going to be the last one of the video. We're going to wrap this crap up. Wait, I'm looking at I've got this camera right here in my face as I'm bent over to get this fish out, and my battery's about had it. So we're going to have to wrap it up soon anyway. Maybe we can end it on a fish right there. I'm going to drop this bait back down though. I'm going to fish for a little while longer. But now I was saying, my toe, we've went and gotten 2 pedicures since I've smashed it. I couldn't do it for a while because when it was super painful, I couldn't have anybody messing with it, touching it and whatnot. But now that it don't hurt, I can go. But the little Asian women that sit there and do the pedicures, they don't speak hardly any English. And so they're wanting me to tell them what's wrong with my toe, and they don't understand what I'm saying. And then they're trying to ask me questions in English that I can't half understand them. It's awkward. I'm awkward conversation anyway, but it's real awkward when there's a language barrier on top of my just normal introvertedness. So, yeah. But anyway, y'all are going to see that toe here very soon, and it's disgusting looking. But that toenail's still hanging on, so I'm going to leave it on there till it comes off. My battery's about had it though here, y'all. Let's, what do you say we wrap up the video? I'm going to fish probably another, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. I'm going to sit here at this creek a little while longer. If we keep getting dinked, I'll make my way down a little more. But we've gotten several fish now, man. It's been a numbers-wise productive morning. Got a couple fun sizers there earlier, and then that bigger whopper right there a few minutes ago, which was awesome. That sealed the trip for me right there, man. I was hoping we would get a few of those today, and I thought we might get a few, and that would probably be our only bites. But that's why, man, that's the fun thing about fishing. Every day is different. You come out thinking, okay, this is probably what's going to happen, and then then the exact opposite does. But it's a good day. We got several fish. We got a big fish, so I'm going to go home happy here in about an hour. But we'll go ahead and cut the video off now since my battery's about dead anyway. But all right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you for coming with me on this trip. I'll see you next time.